Good morning. Good morning, Charles Van Morgan Live. So, this is the Charles Van Morgan Show. Good morning. So, today, as you've seen the title, we're going to talk about the dirty Tennessee judiciary that step on the blood of soldiers and violate the United States Constitution. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that this morning. There's a police officer slowing down. So, maybe they're going to arrest me for speaking out against the government today. I don't know. So, yeah, Charles Van Morgan may be a more interesting show than what we want. The Charles Van Morgan Show. So, yeah, he slowed down right when he seen me, but I'm on a public sidewalk. I got a right to speak out against the government. So, this is the Charles Van Morgan Show. What is he slowing down for? Yeah. So, you can monitor all me want to. You can't shut me up. So this is Charles Van Morgan Show. We're going to talk about the dirty Tennessee judiciary. That's the reason why they can do whatever they want to do. Cops do whatever they want to do. Because they got the dirty Tennessee judiciary. They'll rule whatever they want in their favor. So, man, there's another one. But, yeah, they're probably just on their way home. Maybe, I don't know. They killed somebody about 3 or 4 miles from here on this road. So we're talking about the dirty Tennessee judiciary today. Welcome, welcome. So law enforcement all over the place, which is good. Which is good if they obey the Constitution, but they don't like me because I speak out against their violation of the Constitution. So Charles Van Morgan Show, speaking to over 1.3 million people, coming up on 1.5 million people. Join the show, talking about the dirty judiciary. Nobody talks about that, do they? They're afraid to, and I am cautious doing that. It's dangerous to my safety, health, protection, well-being, but beneficial to your safety, health, protection, and well-being. Because when you shine a light on the rats, they scatter and we can get our constitutional rights back. So here's American flag. I love this American flag. Soldiers fought and died for that flag and what it stands for. What it stands for is your constitutional rights. And I'm going to explain that to you. The Constitution is a powerful document. It's not a bullet. It's not a weapon. It's a piece of paper that's an agreement that our founding fathers wrote out, an agreement, the great experiment, United States of America. So let's see if we're broadcasting. Yeah, we're live. Got 2 people on here. Thank you all very much. Let's amen, brother. The Constitution is what holds our nation together. That's right. X100A. Thank you. Your hat looks cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Charles Van Morgan Show, we're going to talk about the dirty judiciary and the dirty judiciary in Tennessee, because that's where I'm at. And we're going to shine a light on them. We're like a lighthouse. We're not shining the light on me. I'm not the star. We're a lighthouse. We're shining the light on corruption to benefit you, to guide you into safety. So Charles Van Morgan Show. So I guess maybe he's after somebody else. We're real live on the street and broadcasting. So never know what might happen on the road. Evidently, he's got some papers for somebody, which is fine. They gotta enforce the rule of law, and what time they do, sometimes they enforce the rule of the people in government power, which is not necessarily, let me make a word, not necessarily according to the Constitution, in violation of our rights, our agreement. So, judiciary in Tennessee step on the blood of soldiers that died to protect our constitutional rights. They ignore that. They take an oath before they take office to uphold the laws of the nation, to uphold the Constitution. Raise their right hand, swear under oath that they will do that they will protect our way of life, that they will rule according to the Constitution, which is our agreement with government under this grand experiment that gives individuals rights against the mighty, powerful government. You see, our founding fathers of the United States of America came over here from England, where they had a king, and the king can do no wrong. And people had no rights. If the king wanted something done, he did it, regardless of individuals. They had no real freedoms. Their freedoms were up to the whims of the king. In the United States of America, contrary to some opinions of people, we do not have a king. I know there's large protests that say no kings. Well, I don't know what you're protesting. There's an election. There's an election. It's really kind of funny. The joke's on them holding up a sign in America that says no kings. And I know they're trying to say it symbolically, but how about hold up a sign that says go vote to get rid of people that think they're kings, if that's what you believe. But we don't have kings. They left England because they didn't want a powerful government, a king, to have supreme authority to be able to do whatever they wanted to do. This grand experiment in America, which has worked out pretty well until people in power have found out ways to manipulate the Constitution where it's ineffective. They want that Constitution not to work. They don't want the Constitution. They don't like it. It stands in the way of their government overreach. It stands in the way of them killing you, literally. If they abide by the Constitution, they can't kill you. They would go to jail. They violate your constitutional rights. It stands in the way, the Constitution, that little document, Constitution, stands in the way of them incarcerating you. There's mass incarceration in the United States. It's not because of crime. It's because of government overreach, because the government steps on the Constitution, puts people in jail regardless of the constitutional rights. And that's why I'm speaking to you, 1.3 million people. The government will put you in jail. You think, if you think, and you may think, and I'm here to present you with my ideals, my thinking from an educated perspective, and a lot of people agree with me. If you believe that only guilty people go to prison, that the government only arrests guilty people, and there's people in law school that believe that. I mean, they think that there shouldn't be a criminal defense attorney. There's literally people in law school. I went to law school, graduated from law schools. There's literally people in law school that don't believe in criminal defense attorneys. They think they're dirtbags. They think criminal defense attorneys are worthless and they shouldn't be, and people that protect your constitutional rights, that you don't have a right to have your constitutional rights protected. That's how stupid some people in law school are. And I've heard them. I've sat in law schools and heard them talk and heard them question guest speakers who were defenders of people's rights, who were defenders of the Constitution. That's what public defenders are. As good as they can be under the dictatorship, because if they really represent your constitutional rights, then they'll lose their job because the people that control it are against the Constitution. So I mean, I've literally sat in law school, and we'll finish up with talking about finish that line of thinking, talking about your constitutional rights and how they came to be. But literally in law school, I was sitting in a law school class. We had a guest speaker who happened to be a criminal defense attorney. God bless criminal defense attorneys. I love most of y'all. Great people for the most part. Some of them are dirtbags. Now, they can't really defend the Constitution. They try, but they've got a livelihood to worry about. And if they really defend your constitutional rights, they will lose their job and they will be put in jail themselves. I just said that. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. If you're alarmed at some of the things I'm saying, you forgot the channel you're on. You're on the truth channel, not the politician channel. You're not on the channel that's trying to get widespread popularity for myself. You're on the channel that's going to tell you the truth, T-R-U-T-H, based on facts. An educated perspective. If you know more than me, God bless you. What book do you read? How long have you lived?
Go ahead, brother. How you doing?
Thank you. Hello. How long have you lived? What have you studied? What life experiences have you had? I've had some life experiences. I've been in the government. I know they violate people's constitutional rights every day, all day, and their conscience is seared, and they lie and deceitful in doing it. The people in government power ought to be put in jail. A lot of them. Not all of them, a lot of them. So I was sitting in class, We had a guest speaker that was a defense attorney. God bless him, protecting people's constitutional rights. That's a great thing. That's not a bad thing. Protecting our constitutional rights from the powerful government the best they can. I would encourage all criminal defense attorneys, keep at it. Keep at it. Put up a good fight. Do what you can. They know what I'm talking about. Keep at it. Defend people. Our jails are full of innocent people. Oh, he said that, Charles Van Morgan, unbridled news. Yes, I did. Our jails are full of innocent people. Our government offices are full of guilty people that ought to be in prison. So let's think about it. That's the truth. That's not, that's dangerous to me, talking about these people that have power to kill me, but I'm just telling you the truth. See, I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'm a truth fighter. I carry the banner of truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, you want to stick your head in the sand and you wind up in jail from the government violating the Constitution, you think you're untouchable. As long as they don't obey the Constitution, nobody is safe. Nobody is untouchable. You can live a peaceful life and hide from them, and they'll find you. So your best bet is to do what I do at the end of the videos, is tell you to vote and listen to what I'm trying to tell you. You don't even have to believe it. You don't have to buy it hook, line, and sinker. But I'm putting it out there. Nobody else does. Why not? Because they're afraid, and I don't blame them. But I got a little unique situation where I can put out the truth because I'm a fighter and people have God's calling. My calling is to help soldiers protect your constitutional rights against the dirty, stinking, rat-infested Tennessee judiciary. And yeah, I said it. And I've got a right to say that under our Constitution. But they won't let me say it, will they? Let's see what they try to do to me. I've already been put in jail, not for doing anything wrong, for speaking out against people violating the Constitution, for backing up soldiers. I wasn't fighting in a foreign land, fighting people for our constitutional rights. I was in America on a public street fighting for our constitutional right alongside these soldiers. So I'm doing the same thing they are. I'm fighting for your constitutional rights, just not inside the government. So I was in law school, and this student, who is an idiot, challenged the criminal defense attorney. Said, do you feel good about getting a accused? He didn't even say accused. He said, do you feel good about getting a rapist out of jail? Do you feel good about getting a murderer where they don't have to go to jail? And that was his attitude, his simple pea-brained attitude. Because a criminal defense attorney does not get a murderer out of jail. A criminal defense attorney does not get a rapist out of rape. A criminal defense attorney protects people's constitutional rights, which is what we've agreed on. If you don't like the Constitution, go to another country that doesn't have one. You might be better off because they don't obey the Constitution in the United States of America for the most part. But that's what we're trying to bring back, the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what we're fighting for. So the real issue is his stupidity, is that he thinks that the government has a right, if they accuse you, then you're guilty. The fact is the government has more power. The most powerful entities in the world, other than God, God's more powerful than them all, is who I fear, is the government. It doesn't matter if you're innocent. If they violate the Constitution, they can get you put in jail. They do all the time. People say, everybody in jail, this is what people in government power say. Everybody in jail says they're innocent. This is what Charles Van Morgan says, live, YouTube, in person. A lot of them are innocent. Our jails are packed full, busting at the seams. Why is that? There's a lot of innocent people in jail. The incarceration rate goes up regardless of the crime rate. So how do you explain that? How do you explain that genius that is arguing that attorney that protects people's constitutional rights gets innocent people out of false criminal charges, that they should feel bad about getting a murder out of jail? He doesn't understand. And what he doesn't understand is that in his mind, and a lot of people's minds, and go with it, see how it works for you. How's it working for you at the grocery store? The government's honest. The government's honest. The courts are honest. Judges are honest. They obey the Constitution. How dare you defend a guilty person that the government, people in power, have charged? Well, let me tell you something. Let me give people a little education from a sociological standpoint. The government, people in government power, are dirty as hell. They charge innocent people all the time for other reasons than criminal stuff. They charge people because they stand up against people violating people's constitutional rights. They stand up at people just like they would in foreign countries fighting our country. So he's an idiot in challenging attorneys that defend rapists and murderers. Why? Because all rapists and murderers aren't guilty. That's the first point. The government charges people that aren't guilty all the time. Why, here in Knox County, under this rogue prosecutor's office, I call it the Baumgardner Courthouse, he was raping women while he's putting people in jail, women and men in jail for not doing nowhere near the heinous crimes that he was doing. Rape in the courtroom, protected by our tax money. So if you trust the government, then listen to me for a little while. So yeah, we're trying to survive out here, real life, in person. If you trust the government, then just look at some of the government's activities and tell me they won't charge an innocent person. They do all the damn time. A lot of people in jail are innocent. And the second thing is, even if, give them the fact that somebody's guilty of a criminal offense. In our system of government, under our Constitution, the government has a right to get all the evidence that it can get. Absolutely. To legally and legitimately follow in the Constitution, get all the rights using the Constitution, the citizens protected by the Constitution, even if they're guilty. And the government's got a right to get all the rights to use every means possible of a powerful government. I mean, they got cameras, lawyers, paid lawyers, unlimited amount of funds. They got every right to get all the information they can and present their case to a grand jury, and then present their case to a jury of your peers. But they do not have a right in doing that to violate the Constitution. Let's make sure I don't fall down here. They do not have a right to violate the Constitution. Even if a person's guilty. A guilty person, and this may be alarming to y'all. And some of y'all, a lot of people have sense, this may be alarming to y'all. Even a guilty person has constitutional rights. They do. The government can't charge in a guilty person's house and without a warrant, without exigent circumstances or exceptions to the warrant requirement, drag them down to the courthouse and incarcerate them for 50 years and put them on death row. They can't do that. Even if they're guilty, even if they murdered somebody, even if they committed a heinous murder, the government has to abide by the Constitution. They've got to go through constitutional procedures in order to act appropriately, in order to give them a fair hearing. They can't just go on a witch hunt. And you think, well, that's not right. A guilty person ought to be dragged out of their house and they ought to be taken down to the jail and they don't need a trial. And yeah, they did that in witch hunts, didn't they? And then if you believe that, I mean, if you're stupid enough to believe that, then they'll charge in your house. But I'm not guilty. But that doesn't matter. You don't have an opportunity. You don't have the Constitution to prove you're not guilty. Because remember, you said the Constitution doesn't matter. Guilty people don't need a right to try to prove that they're not guilty, because you gave up that right. So if you don't think the Constitution is important, then you don't think you're important. Because I damn guarantee you, but for the Constitution, and they do it anyway, the government, people in government power, for money, power, and fame, just like they did in the witch hunts, will charge in your house, will drag you to jail, charge you with heinous crimes, and keep you in jail for the rest of your life, and maybe execute you, but for the Constitution. So if you think that only not guilty people should have constitutional rights, then how do you know where you're going to draw the line? Because you're not even going to give them a chance to prove they're not guilty. You're just going to trust in the almighty, all-powerful government to tell you who's guilty and who's not, while they're committing crimes their damn selves, while the judges are sitting there raping women. And you're going to trust him to tell you whether or not you're guilty or not, because you don't have a right the Fourth Amendment, a warrant. You don't have a right to the Fifth Amendment, a fair trial, the right to remain silent. You don't have a right to all your Sixth Amendment rights, the right to be represented by counsel. You don't want to give those up because you trust the government. And that's what the Constitution is about, because people that left England did not trust the government. They lived under a dictatorship. They lived under a king. They didn't like it. So when they come over here, they established a constitution that gives people power against the almighty government. The government has money. They can tax money. They can raise taxes if they run out of money, and they do all the time illegitimately. They have weapons of mass destruction in your city and counties. Law enforcement agencies, they have weapons of mass destruction. They've got tanks. They've got military equipment. If they want you out of your house, they'll get you out of your house, dead or alive. They have the power to do that. A piece of paper is not going to stop them. The Constitution won't stop them. They can do that at will, at their own whim. And that's why the Constitution is a powerful document, because of the fact that with all the government's power, with all the government's military equipment and money and resources, that agreement that these judges in Tennessee, these dirty judges in Tennessee, have raised their hand to uphold, that one piece of paper with our constitutional rights, our agreement with the government in this grand experiment in the United States of America, promises that all that power and might, they can be stopped at your front door. They can be stopped. They've got tanks, they've got bullets, they've got guns, they got weapons, they got resources, they got people. They got almost, as far as humanly possible, power. Okay? More power than anybody on the planet. So yeah, I guess they like my show. Slowing down for my show. They got more power than anybody on the planet. The government. And the problem to them is, and it's a major problem to them, that's why they don't like it, is the Constitution. The Constitution of the United States that gives one individual citizen, poor, broke, maybe even homeless, the rights against the government. It's called the Constitution of the United States of America. Let's see how many people we got in here. Yeah, we got a bunch. Yeah, like, share, comment. If you like the message, then spread it. The government don't want this message spread. That's why they put me in jail, for spreading the message of we got constitutional rights. They don't like that. People in government power don't like the Constitution. You say, oh, you're full of it. You don't know what you're talking about. They like the Constitution. Okay. When I was arrested for speaking up for the Constitution, for our rights against the government, to protect us from the government, they wrote on the warrant that I threatened to use the Constitution to protect me from them. So obviously they don't like it, because they violated my constitutional rights, and I told them that I was going to hold them accountable to the Constitution, that I was going to sue them in federal court, alleging they violated my constitutional rights. They wrote on their warrant that was part of the criminal offense, that I said I got a constitutional right. So you tell me they love the Constitution, they'll use you stand on your constitutional rights against you in this country. That's how serious and bad it's gotten. Now, of course, the charges were dismissed because the government don't honor your constitutional rights. They haven't. They never will, unless we hold them accountable, unless we force them to. But they know if I took it to a criminal trial, or if I took it to trial in federal court, that you, the citizens, would say, yeah, he's got a right to. You can't arrest him because he don't like the government. You can't arrest him because he thinks he's got a freedom of speech, because he does. He wasn't hurting anybody. He was trying to protect people. You can't put a politician in jail because you don't like their ticket. You didn't put Bill Lee in jail. You didn't put Bill Haslam in jail because they got money. You can't put a politician in jail because he don't have a lot of money. He's got a right to get on the ballot and run for public office just like anybody else, and they knew it'd be stopped right there. But they arrest you to violate the Constitution and show you who's in charge. That Constitution don't mean a damn thing to them. They got resources and power. So we need to fight for our constitutional right. The government is against the Constitution. People in power are against the Constitution. They're against your federal constitutional rights. They don't like it. They don't want you to stand on your constitutional rights. The government doesn't like me out here saying stand on your constitutional rights. The Constitution gives me a right to stand out here in a public place, in a public venue, not committing a crime, and speak to people and tell them to exercise your constitutional right. That one piece of paper gives people the authority and power to stop the government, to stop all the forces and power of a mighty government. The grand experiment, the agreement that we made when we came from England, we didn't like a king being able to run in our house anytime the king felt like it. So they made a piece of paper that said they got to have evidence of a crime, and it's got to be specific. They got to say exactly what they're looking for, exactly what crime, exactly where the crime is in your house. And they got to have it signed before a neutral third party, before the king or in the United States of America come into your house. Otherwise, if they don't have that, then when they come to your door, knock on your door, you can say, do you have a warrant? No, we don't have a warrant. Then get off my property. You're not coming in my house. I got a right to this house. The Constitution says I got a right to this house. The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution says you have to get off my property. They have to go get a warrant and tell exactly the crime and bring forth the witnesses and significant valid evidence of you committing a crime before they can use their bullets and their guns to knock down your door and come in your house. Now, they got bullets and guns, but you can hold up the Constitution. You don't have to literally have the piece of paper there. You can stand on your Fourth Amendment rights, that they can't search your house, that they can't unreasonably search and seize you without probable cause, without a valid warrant. And if you think that the government won't unrightly, unauthorizedly, without probable cause, search your house and take you into custody without you exercising your First Amendment right and your Fourth Amendment right and your right to due process, you are wrong. And this is not overstating it. You may be dead wrong. Very dead. And if you think that you don't break any laws, so you won't be, that won't happen to you. I've heard that said to me. Well, I'll try to stay out of they'll come looking for you. They'll come and hunt you down. It doesn't matter. You can't live in a free society and think people can ignore the Constitution and then think you're going to escape from it. You probably won't be. They'll hunt for whoever they want to hunt for and use you for whatever pawn criminal charge they want to. You can be completely innocent, and the government needs to convict somebody to make themselves look good. They may have a heinous crime. This has happened time and time again. They may have a heinous crime that somebody is killing a lot of members of the public, and they want to stick somebody with a crime because they want to tell the public, we've solved that crime. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to vote us out of office. We've solved that crime. And they may charge you for a crime that you don't have any idea what they're talking about and violate the Constitution. So, and you say, well, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't messing with the government. You don't have to. You don't have to. You have to live on the planet in the United States of America, and the government may mess with you and violate your constitutional rights. And if we don't have constitutional rights that I'm fighting for, that I hope you'll join me and vote, voters of truth and rage, and fight for the constitutional rights, vote for people that back up the Constitution, then they'll come and find you, and you are at risk. So join vote. Voters of Tennessee Enraged. So we're going down to the Henley Street Bridge because the Gay Street Bridge is closed. There's so many people got on here. Yeah, quite a few. So like, share, comment, and spread this message so we can get the word out to protect our constitutional rights. Now, so we're talking about the dirty Tennessee judiciary that violate the Constitution. They don't abide by the Constitution. They step on the blood of soldiers, violate their agreement, and do not honor the Constitution. The way they don't honor it the Constitution is one of the ways is they sign warrants that aren't justified. They're not neutral and unbiased. So just here recently in Knox County, a judicial magistrate, a judge, signed a warrant to go in a young man's house, 18 years old, based on pretty flimsy probable cause. Probable cause is a set of facts and circumstances that would lead a reasonable person to believe that a crime is being committed or about to be committed. That's probable cause. So you have to have significant facts and circumstances, not just flimsy evidence. Flimsy evidence is you could set up an internet site. I could set up an internet site under your name. Use your name, even use your address. Put it on Facebook. Have your picture even on it. And put it on the internet site. And I'm just telling you what they did in Knox County. And put it on the internet and have advertisement on my Facebook page that I'm selling marijuana. But it'd be under your name. Be under your name. So I'm not getting caught for anything, but I'm setting you up. And put it on there and say that I'm selling drugs from my house, selling marijuana, hydrocodone, hard drugs, $200 a pop. Come by and I'll give it to you for $250. Set that up on the internet. And now your constitutional rights under the 4th Amendment would say that before the cops read that internet page, they got to have a set of facts and circumstances that will lead a reasonable person, not a law enforcement officer, a reasonable person. A reasonable person could be a law enforcement officer, and there's some of them are reasonable. Most of them at the top of these organizations are not. Hey, Charles Van Morgan and Bridal News, that's what I said. They're not reasonable. They're not reasonable at all. Some of them are. Not that many. The higher you go up in an organization, the less reasonable they are. So they get unreasonable warrants. So let's look at the probable cause they had. And I'm just telling you what could happen to you. People think I don't got to get involved. Won't matter to me. I'll obey the government and I'll be good. And I don't like defense attorneys. Well, you might need one that you don't like, because you don't have to be guilty of a crime for them to bust in your house and kill you. They might. So I set up that fake thing on the internet, or you might just be going about your life, and your ex-wife or somebody get mad at you and lie to them, and they'll go get you. So just living life, you might run into a fight with the government that doesn't obey the Constitution, that doesn't believe that they should, that they don't think that they have to is the problem. And that's what I'm here for. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. If you don't like what I'm saying, lump it. This is America. I got a First Amendment constitutional right to speak out against you. If you think it's that bad, sue me in your crooked courts for defamation. We'll talk all day long about what I'm saying is absolute truth. I'll bring evidence. One of your crooked judges, and that's the problem, might tell you that I'm lying, even when I'm not. And that's what the problem is, the dirty judiciary that won't uphold our constitutional rights. So we're doomed if we don't fight for them. So they read on the internet where this man was selling drugs. Could have been a fake one. There's nothing in the warrant that I seen on the search warrant. Nothing in the warrant that says they saw him or did any kind of significant investigation, went and talked to people, or saw him do anything, saw him sell any drugs. But yet they went and got a warrant based on internet evidence that anybody could have put there. Now, I don't care if they found out after the fact it's true. Beforehand, they didn't know that. That's what they're judged on, the facts and circumstances before the fact. You say, well, that's not right. If he was committing a crime, I don't care how they did it, they could have put him in jail. Well, if that's the case, they can search every house to see if you're committing a crime and without a crime. Is that what you want? You know, freedom is scary, deal with it. That's what the civil rights lawyer says. Freedom's scary, deal with it. They got to have facts and circumstances. They got to be able to prove a crime. Even if you're committing one, they got to be able to prove it. You don't have to testify against yourself. It's the Fifth Amendment. It's the great experiment that works pretty well. It's called freedom. Enjoy it. As Thomas Jefferson said, we have a republic. We have a constitution if we can keep it. We're not keeping it. We're not keeping it. So they went to that man's house, went in his house and shot him because they read stuff on the internet. And they got a judge in Knox County to sign off on that. Dirty Tennessee judges. They'll come in your house. They can have any rogue thing they want to have. And they show up in your house, and I don't know about your city and county, but that's the way it is here in Knoxville. Now, Knoxville don't like me saying that. They can stand up, and the chief of police can have a police conference today. He can have a press conference. He can call the news. I call the news. They won't show up for me. I call the public, and 1.3 million of you are listening to me. Thank the good Lord in heaven. And the truth matters, has more weight than dirty government lies, dirty judicial lies, dirty judicial court system lies that they present as legitimate under the authority of a dirty government that steps all over the Constitution, that doesn't honor our way of life. So he can have a press conference and say Charles Van Morgan's lying, or we only go by valid warrants, and it wasn't the city police department that did that, it was the county sheriff, and they can attest that, and they can have the prosecutor who's on their team too. They work in conjunction. They should be in opposition to each other sometime, because a prosecutor should prosecute police officers that do wrong. The prosecutor should be prosecuted when the prosecutor does wrong by a real independent investigation that never takes place. Independent investigations done by their buddies. Wow, isn't that convenient? Works out well. Well, the joke's on us because it steps on our constitutional rights. It's a well-oiled machine that keeps them in power and your life at risk, because they went in somebody's house under flimsy evidence, violated, I believe, the 4th Amendment and killed him. And a member of the warrants department lies on police reports. I know he does. I've seen the lies. I can point them out. I've showed them before. Listen to my videos. So they say that he pulled the gun on them, and they have no body cam evidence. And we know they lied in the past. So just sheer logic. I mean, you don't have to be a genius. Just use logic. You know, the department has officers that lie on police reports. A fact. You can prove that. No question. I can prove that a warrants department officer that works for Knox County, that went in the house and killed somebody, lies on police reports. He commits fraud on police reports. The warrants department, that has no video evidence, says that that was justified in what they did, that he pulled a gun on them, they had no choice. They already had flimsy evidence that violated, I believe, the 4th Amendment to even go in his house. And they have no body cam evidence. They could have filmed the shooting, the killing. It was a killing, even if it was justified homicide. They could have had body cameras on. They chose not to have body cameras on. Why would they choose that? It seems to me, had they been completely innocent of any wrongdoing, and it showed up, they would have body cameras. And they would have said, see, look, we had no choice. We begged him, please don't do that, please. We're going to shoot, we're going to have to. And he would have shot them, they'd have been defending their lives. And they would have come forward with the video, because I believe they probably have video. The video just does not exonerate them, so it goes away. And I know they do that. I've seen that happen. So the Constitution is what protects us from that. But we had a judge, I believe, violated the Constitution here in Knox County. So they'll sign anything these detectives with the Knox County Sheriff's Office tell them to sign. Barge right in your house, kick in your door, and kill you, and say it was justified. I don't believe that. I don't believe it was justified. Flimsy evidence, violating the Constitution. So, the civil rights lawyer, if y'all ever heard of him, I watch his show a lot. A real good defender of the Constitution. I appreciate him. The problem with his analysis is that the Tennessee dirty judges, the judiciary in the state of Tennessee, do not uphold the Constitution. So all those constitutional rights that he's telling you to have when he's talking about police officers, you ever watch that show, when he's talking about police officers, all those constitutional rights, and he's got like millions of views on some of his videos. And when I watch him all the time, I'm amazed because he's talking about your constitutional rights. And this is why this show is important. And that's all well, good, and fine. And they are your constitutional rights. God love him. I thank him for that. So I'm in the crosswalk. I thank him for that. The problem is this, that judges, it's up to judges to honor your constitutional rights. So many people got in here. It's up to judges to honor your constitutional rights. And the problem is, you can go through that analysis, but that analysis of your constitutional rights, that an officer violated your Fourth Amendment right, that they didn't have probable cause to search your house, that you have a First Amendment right to speak out against the government, that the government can make no law that abridges the freedom of speech, the right to challenge the government and to cause them to straighten up their act, that you got a right to speak out against them, that they can't silence opposition, your right to speak out, to say, I got a right, the government arrested me wrongly for exercising my constitutional rights. That's our agreement. People left England to give people power over the government. That one piece of paper is supposed to protect you from the all power of the government. They have to go through those rights. If they can't go through those rights, they got to leave you the hell alone. Leave us alone. It's called freedom. Government, leave us alone. You have no right to come in my house. Government, leave me alone. You have no right to shut me up. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't listen to me. If you don't like what I'm saying, hold a press conference. A lot of people love to listen to your lies. That's what I think. I'm allowed to disagree with the government in this country. It's called the marketplace of ideals. It makes it better. It holds corruption in check. It stops people from killing innocent Jews like they did in Germany. You spoke out against Hitler and he would kill you. That's the thing you said first. Let's kill all the lawyers. The government stops people that ask questions. That says, I don't think that's right. I think it happened this way. They don't like that. Keeps them in check. Keeps them from doing it. It keeps them honest. Keeps them from killing people because people question it. They say, why did you get a warrant based on the fact that you had internet evidence? Did you have no more than that? I don't think that's right. I think you did wrong. Don't do that anymore. If you don't check them, they have unlimited power. And you trust human beings to have unlimited power? You go with that. I don't. I sure don't. It's called human nature. It's wicked as hell. You better keep them in power. You better keep them in check. That's what I'm doing. Keep them in check. I'm giving y'all something for free, putting myself at risk, because that's what I do. I'm a fighter for you as long as I can. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Spread the message. The government hates the message. Question the government. Don't take them hook, line, and sinker, believe every damn word they say because they got on fancy black robes or they got on nice uniforms with badges on them. Question them sometimes where it's appropriate. Now, don't on the side of the road fight them. Don't do that. Fight them in the courtroom. But we need to fight them and get our constitutional rights back. Because the civil rights lawyer argues when a police officer or a government agency violates your constitutional rights. If you watch a civil rights attorney, he'll tell you what the Constitution says, what case law says, what it says. Under the Constitution, your rights, that piece of paper is supposed to stop them. You can't come in my house. You don't have a warrant. You don't have probable cause. I've committed any crime. Get out of here. Bye. But we got tanks. We got military equipment. We got police. We got a bunch of people out here. We got bullets and guns, weapons of mass destruction. We got robots. We got all kinds of power. We can stay out here for weeks, got money. But no, you can't come in my house because I got a piece of paper, the Constitution, that says you can't unreasonably search and seize my property. That I got a right to privacy. This little piece of paper stops your whole force. Go on. That's the agreement. It's called freedom. And there's cases, Bivens case in the federal courts. It's a powerful right. Now sometimes judges uphold those rights and sometimes they don't. And that's what's dangerous, when they don't. And I'm talking about when they don't, and people get killed and rights get violated and freedoms get taken away. And that's what I'm concerned about. Holding them in check. I'm not talking about violence on our part. I'm talking about violence on their part. I talk about violence, but it ain't violence that I want. It's a piece of paper that I want to stop their bullets and their violence against us. And that's what's going on. If you don't believe it, then you will someday, hopefully not, but I bet you will. It's going to a mass police surveillance state. They got cameras all over the city of Knoxville watching every damn thing I do. And not for my safety, protection, well-being, not for your safety, health, protection, well-being, to violate your constitutional rights is what they're doing, invasion of privacy. They brag about it. They laugh at you. They laugh at me. But I'm not laughing along. I'm not going along with their program. I'm going along with my constitutional rights. If you don't like it, you get out of my country. Soldiers fought for that right. I stand with soldiers that shed their blood for this grand experiment. So the civil rights attorney, the problem with his line of reasoning, and I agree with him, is this. Dirty judges in Tennessee violate those rights. They don't honor the Constitution. They think they're in England and they're the damn king. And they step on the blood of soldiers. Soldiers fought for that. And they just act like soldiers' blood doesn't matter. There's dead soldiers in the world fighting for our Constitution, for our way of life, for our freedoms. And dirty judges say your blood doesn't matter. I don't care what you fight for. I'll take what you fight for. Not in a foreign country, in our judicial offices behind robes in the state of Tennessee. That's what your Tennessee Judiciary does almost on a daily basis. Nobody says that. Somebody needs to. I'm saying it. On a public sidewalk, come and get me. I'll hold up the Constitution, the First Amendment. Leave me alone or face the consequences of a mass population mad as hell that we got a right to speak. And you don't own us. We are the government. You get out of our government offices. You leave us the hell alone and get out of our country if you don't like our Constitution. We like it. It helps us live and be free. So the problem with the civil rights attorney is these judges don't listen to the rule of law. They don't listen to your First Amendment right. They won't let you speak. So let's shut them up. Let's shut them up with force, power, and might. And welcome everyone. Charles Van Morgan Show. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Welcome. And the way that we can shut them up is, I'm going to tell you, the way we can shut them the hell up, kick them out of our judicial offices with great power and force, is not like they do. These judges are violent as hell. I've seen them be violent. I mean, I'm just not talking about the violence that their rogue rulings causes. I'm talking about judges being violent. One chased me down the street. Tried to. They're violent people, Mr. Ward. You're a violent man, Mr. Ward. He's lucky the light turned green, because I got a right to self-defense. I don't care. You call yourself a judge in a robe, you attack me, I'll fight back. You got that? So they're a little bit arrogant, a little bit off base. They bite off more than they can chew. You can have that damn courtroom. You come out here on the road, or I'm not going to give it to you. I'll fight you for my rights in a courtroom, which is what I'm out for. But I don't give a damn who you are. You don't like me on the sidewalk, you walk around me. You show respect for a citizen exercising their constitutional right on a public sidewalk, or we'll defend ourselves against you. You got that? That's your warning. And if I'm violating the law, that's fine. I'm not. I'm engaging in public protected speech. The problem with the civil rights attorney is these dirty Tennessee violent judges are rogue. They don't obey the Constitution. They step all over the Constitution. They don't give you a right to speak. And I'll show you when we get to the bridge. They even adjudicated falsely against the Constitution. They adjudicated a right that soldiers fought for, sitting behind a robe in an office, in a courtroom protected by law enforcement that we pay for. So they violate your constitutional rights protected by law enforcement. Yeah, Russia's bad. How about America? How about America? Is our Constitution real? It's a republic. If we can keep it, we better start fighting to keep the Constitution. That's just a basic thing. Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom to call out the government. They literally adjudicate. There's a Tennessee court ruling. Now they got it surreptitiously written, but they're sending a message. Their court rulings send messages, send false violations of the Constitution messages. Oh, they sit in an office and they rig and think and twist and lie and cheat and rob and steal and write out rulings and put them out on Valentine's Day, sending a message. We don't give a damn who you are. We don't give a damn about the Constitution. We don't give a damn about the public rights. We're in power and we got a gun and we'll shoot right through the Constitution. To hell with it. We're in power. That's what I'm telling you, that's what they do. They literally have a ruling that says I don't have a First Amendment constitutional right. A Tennessee judge ruled that I don't have a constitutional right to speak, to run for public office. Why? Because I'm running for public office against him. So I don't have a right to run for public office and stand on the Constitution in America. They made that. They made the ruling, not me. Now that's a rogue ruling. It doesn't count because the Constitution trumps everything. I mean, if you go to law school, you'll learn administrative rulings differ between the Constitution. Constitution trumps. A judge's decision violates the Constitution. Constitution trumps it. Constitution wins. First Amendment wins. Our Second Amendment right wins. That's our means to protect all our constitutional rights is our Second Amendment. And that's just a fact. The Second Amendment was written to protect us against violations of the Constitution, was to protect us against government overreach. It's in there. People don't like to say it, but I'm going to stay alive. What about you? The way we do that is not by violence. It's by exercising and enforcing our constitutional right by voting. So the problem with the civil rights attorneys, these dirty Tennessee judges won't honor your constitutional right. They'll rule that you have no constitutional rights, which they in fact have, a ruling I'm proud of. They adjudicated in the state of Tennessee that I don't have a First Amendment right to speak. Well, you see me obeying that constitutional right, don't you? I'm obeying the Constitution. The Constitution is above any rogue Tennessee judiciary. The Tennessee judiciary has gone rogue. They've gone wrong. Try making a complaint against the judiciary. Their little patent procedure to make complaints against judges. The only judges they get rid of, for the most part, are judges that they've done stuff so heinous that they can't cover it up. In most places, they can even cover up the most heinous things. They covered up Baumgardner for years. Look at the Kentucky incident up there where a judge in Kentucky was running a whorehouse from the courthouse, and that would have never been uncovered except for a sheriff shot and killed him, brought national attention, started turning over rocks and found it. Are we going to have that in the state of Tennessee before we start turning over rocks and find out how dirty the Tennessee judiciary is? I'm telling you, they're dirty as hell. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Charles Van Morgan, that's a freebie to you. They don't care about the Constitution. Tennessee judges are dirty as hell. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News, said that reporting live from a Tennessee sidewalk. Imagine that. And I'm not mad as hell. I'm really not. You all ought to be. I'll be just fine. If they take me off the channel tomorrow, I'll be just fine. I'm fighting for your constitutional rights. I'm fighting for your protection. Strategically, with knowledge, strategy, and ability to win this thing for you and to provide for peace and safety and the well-being of all Americans. not just the people at the top. They want only the people at the top, and they want to keep you working for them. That's what their dirty judiciary system set up for them. Their courts are set up to adjudicate in their favor every day, all day long. If you don't agree with me, you think you can bury your head in the sand and it won't affect you. I hope and pray that that is the way it is, but I bet you it won't be that way. And I've heard that said to me. Well, I try to abide by the law. That don't matter. Well, I don't attack the government. That don't matter. If they need you for a pawn, if they need a scapegoat, they'll come and hunt you down. They'll put you in jail while you're agreeing with them. They'll get you to admit to a crime you didn't commit. As bad as you think the government is, and specifically the Tennessee government, as bad as you think they are, and there's a few people good in government, but they're limited by the mass power and fear of them getting put in jail. I don't have a lot to lose. They're limited by the fear of them getting put in jail. But as bad as you think the government is, a lot of people, and some people might know, a lot of people do. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel if you do. It's 10 times worse than what you ever imagined. These courts are 10 times worse than what you ever dreamed of. If you think you'll go into a Tennessee courtroom under one of these Tennessee dirty judges, most of them, I know them, I've met them, I know them. I've tried to speak and defend myself in the courtrooms. They won't let you. They won't give you due process in a Tennessee courtroom. You'll get told to shut up. You don't come in my courtroom and defend yourself because you didn't do it. You shut up. You're just trying to make it hard for me to find you guilty, which is what I'm going to do anyway. And I'm not going to allow you to come in this courtroom and show you're innocent and make me look bad, because that's not what this courtroom is for. This courtroom is for me to keep Governor Bill Lee and Governor Has-Been in power. And this courtroom is set up to make you shut up and violate your constitutional rights. That's what this courtroom's for. So I don't know what kind of car that is. So yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. So your dirty courtrooms, the supposed to be the protection, unbiased, honorable third parties that administer justice, unbiased, a third branch of the Tennessee government, separated from the police, the politicians, supposed to uphold citizens' rights, raise their hands, swore to obey the Constitution, and step all over it, rule for the government every time. But I'll give them a little caveat. It's not a caveat for you. They make it look good. They damn sure make it look good. Oh, they work hard at pulling the wool over your eyes and making it pretty. They make a lie pretty. You know, they put lipstick on a pig, dress it up. It's still a dirty lie. It's still a dirty pig. It's still a nasty animal. And they make it look good. I'll give them that. They make it look pretty good. They sit in offices protected while they figure out their lies. These dirty judges. You think they're sitting there figuring out the Constitution, how it weighs, how justice is served, and even somebody they don't like. It's the Constitution in this country. That's what soldiers have fought for, and they sit and they think and analyze under the Constitution. And Charles Van Morgan's got a right to speak under the Constitution. I don't like it, and I don't agree with what he says, but he's got a right to say it, and he's got every right to run for public office, and we don't need to take him off the campaign trail. And those other politicians have millions of dollars to put out their propaganda and their lies, and he's got every right. He's got every right to say whatever he wants to say, subject to defamation laws, which is false communication, and they're protected. But we're going to weigh his constitutional rights, and we're going to leave him alone. He's got a right to say that in this country. It makes the country better, holds people in power in check, makes them not violate people's rights. But they don't do that. They don't do that in that dirty courthouse over there, right over there. They don't do that. Let's get a close-up of the dirty. You can almost smell the stench from here. That's a dirty courthouse. That's a bridge that's closed down. our government closed down that bridge. They're good liars. They're real good liars. They paint a picture. They got access to all the news channels. You won't hear a news channel running down a public official unless the other government officials are trying to hang them out, that they want a little more power. But that bridge over there has been opened up. This is a government lie outside the courtroom, but it's a government lie. This is how sophisticated they are. That bridge over there has been up since 1898, over 100 years. That bridge, Gay Street Bridge, right over there. Gay Street Bridge. Now, the news media said this is dangerous rhetoric. I'm dangerous. Yeah, they say your First Amendment freedom of speech is dangerous. That's how they get to you. Well, you can say whatever you want, but your speech can't be dangerous. So my speech is dangerous because I don't agree that bridge over there ought to be closed. I think they're lying about it. And that's dangerous speech, disagreeing with the government. It's dangerous speech. They consider it dangerous speech, disagreeing with the public. That's what they've said about me. And specifically about this, dangerous rhetoric. That's what they said. Because they own the news. They own the pundits. They go on their side all the time because they get favors from them. They benefit from them. They get a free ride. They get your tax money if they agree with them. All the media's in cahoots with them for the most part. But guess what? I got more outreach than news stations called Real Live Truth on the Street, Unbridled News. Good luck, Channel 6. Good luck, Channel 10. Good luck, Channel 8, the roguish news channel in Knoxville. People ain't listening to your lies. They can figure it out for themselves. You go to the groceries and somebody ain't doing something right. Stuff don't work out this way. Part of it's the dirty judiciary that keeps them in power. So this bridge over here, that bridge over there. Now the government lie is that bridge is broke down, costs too much money to fix. That's their lie. I don't agree with that, but that's dangerous rhetoric. That ain't dangerous rhetoric. I'm disagreeing with the governor, with the government. I disagree. I don't think that's true. I don't think that bridge is broke down beyond repair, that they can't fix it immediately, if not sooner. If they wanted it open, they'd fix it. They don't want it open. They don't want you to drive over that bridge in a car, so they lie to you. How do I know that? This ain't dangerous rhetoric. It's called logic. It's called using my head. It's called freedom of speech. But the freedom of speech that disagrees with the government, they'll tag it as violent, put you in jail. That's what they did to me, I'm telling you. And they literally branded me violent speech for trying to run for office. They said that I had dangerous rhetoric for saying that bridge over there that's been open. That bridge has been open since 1898, over 100 years, over a bunch of administrations have kept that bridge open. A bunch of mayors in Tennessee have kept that bridge open. It's been open for 100 years. A mayor's term is what, 4 years? Some of them served 8. Through the Depression, where they didn't have much money, they had money to fix that bridge over there. They've always had money to fix that bridge. That bridge is important. It's a thoroughfare through Knoxville that keeps the economy, keeps grocery prices down. They take milk to stores on that bridge. They used to, they can't anymore. When you limit roads, you hurt the economy. But they don't care about the economy. They could care less about the economy. They could care less about you eating. They care about them eating. They care about their power. That's what they care about. That's what these judges care about. So that bridge has been open since 1898. That bridge was open during the Depression. But now in 2025, they claim we're not in a depression. We are. They don't have the money to fix that bridge. They had the money to fix it in the Depression. Why don't they have the money to fix it now? They got the money to fix it. They could fix that bridge tomorrow. They don't want to fix that bridge. They're lying to you. That's why that bridge is closed. It's not dangerous rhetoric for me to say that. It's called speaking the truth to power. It's called exercising my First Amendment right. And I'm not exercising my First Amendment right, speaking truth to power to them. I'm not speaking to them. They don't care. They don't care what I say. When I say truth to power, I'm speaking to you. You are the real power. You're the government, and if we vote, we can vote them out and get back our constitutional rights. Let's look at the view. I'll get on the other side of the bridge, and we'll go into some more detail about some of this stuff the rogue judges are doing in Tennessee. Nobody says that but me on a public sidewalk. In this country, great. We need to keep it great. Look at the beautiful view. And I'll keep quiet just a minute and let you look at the view. So yeah. We're going to the other side of my pulpit on the Henley Street Bridge, because they won't let me practice law in their rogue courtrooms, and I don't want to have to deal with them disgusting judges anyway. This thing, they used to have to stand before a judge here in Knox County that was raping women in the back hallway, like worse than Kentucky, probably, running a brothel in this courthouse over here. Running his own whorehouse. It's the Baumgard Courthouse. Well, these people in public power knowing about that, these rogue, dirty Tennessee judges. So we're going to go over here to the other side of the bridge, and we're going to talk about these disgusting Tennessee judges that violate the Constitution, and show you some pictures of some of these dirty judges, and talk about an election that's coming up next year where a Tennessee judge is up for re-election in the 2026, and it's a retention election. People in government power appoint these judges, and they appoint judges that are going to rule in their favor. They don't appoint judges that are going to abide by the Constitution and not sign rogue warrants to let them search your house without probable cause. The governor appoints judges. Governor Bill Lee appoints judges that rule in his favor and violate the Constitution. That's exactly what that dirty judge does. He puts people in his administration that are dirty as hell. So there's a retention election coming up in 2026 with a lady named Mary Beth Lusowitz, I think. She used to preside over here in the Knox County Courthouse. But we need to send a message. The public, Charles Van Morgan, and voters of truth enraged. We need to send these judges a message that we're not going to tolerate your violating the Constitution. Now, she may be one of the best of the worst, but it's about sending a message that we're not tolerating any of the corruption. You won't step 1 foot over the Constitution. You won't step 1 inch over the Constitution. And the way to send them that message is to vote no in the retention election coming up in 2026. Now, there's another retention election coming up in 2030. And that's what they want to put me in jail for. They want to beat on me because I'm speaking, trying to influence people, and they don't want me to influence people with the truth, to not vote for these rogue Tennessee judges. Vote them out. Send a message. You will put judges in office that will uphold our constitutional rights, or we, the public, will vote them out. And you keep putting them in, and we'll keep shooting them down, not literally, but with votes. So the next election for a judge that we need to vote no in the retention election is Judge Mary Beth Lusowitz in 2026, appointed by fake Christian Governor Bill Lee. So let's show you some of the evidence here. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. The government hates spreading the message. Vote judges out. They don't want me saying that. That's my constitutional right. You go to Russia and try to say vote Putin out. He'll kill you. He'll put you in jail. Go to Tennessee and try to say vote these judges out. They're dirty judges. Tell you about what dirty they did, signing warrants that shouldn't be signed. They'll put you in jail. They put me in jail. I'm proud of my mugshot. Why would they put somebody in jail that's running for public office? Because they don't want a special prosecutor's office to prosecute them for their wrongdoing. If you don't believe me, go to the grocery store. Is it working for you? I don't think so. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me turn this around here and get into the business of showing you all your constitutional rights and the truth. So Tennessee judges are crooked as hell, and you don't have a legitimate complaint process. Get my license here. You don't even have a legitimate complaint process to complain against them. The complaint process is regulated by the Judiciary. So they charged me with a felony and then dropped the charges. Do you really think if I committed a felony that they would continue the charge? You see, I still got my handgun carry permit. They'd like to take that away. No, I don't have a felony. They just wanted to get a mugshot of me to show people what happens if you speak out against them, like Putin would do. Except for maybe worse, but I don't know. They may try to kill me. I don't know. I hope not. So they, Tennessee people in power, are probably still trying to kill me. So and they do that. This is the Judiciary. They do that by putting your picture out in the paper, putting a mugshot out, and saying that you're a violent criminal, and get the public, sick the public on you. Try to get people to kill you, like Charlie Kirk, sick the public on you. Like, for example, John Pettigo was in a pursuit in 2012 where a woman was killed that was an innocent person. And they didn't put his picture out. And he didn't follow state law and turn on his emergency equipment to warn her. They didn't put his picture out in the paper. But when I was in a pursuit that I followed state law, they put my picture on the front page of the paper. Tell me the news that the people in government power don't want to kill me. They do. And if you complain, they put me out. They put a hit on me. People in government power put a hit on me. That's true. Got a hit on me right now. They're not going to do it. They'd look too bad if the governor came out here and shot me, and he's too much of a sissified man to do that. So they put bad information on you and get the public on you. Try to get the public to kill you. That's what they do. Say you're a murderer and all kinds of sick stuff. So they put a hit on me. Why would they do that? Because I'm saying to vote them out of office. They're not good people. They violate the Constitution. They're against our way of life, our principles. They bought their way into office. That's why. Because I'm for the people. So the judicial immunity racket. Judges give themselves immunity, not the Constitution, not Congress, not voters. So judges give themselves immunity from prosecution for violations that they commit in the courtroom. I'm subject to defamation laws. If I say something that's false, that tends to defame someone in the community, that lowers them in standing in the community, that causes people not to want to deal with them. Like I say stuff about Governor Bill Lee. I think he's a fake Christian, shutting down hospitals when he claims he's a Christian, hurting little children. That's the truth. If it's defamation, if it's false communication, then it's defamation, because it could cause people not to want to deal with it. So I'm subject to defamation laws. Judges sit behind their desk and they can say any heinous criminal, corrupt thing against you, and they're protected. They're protected by the Constitution. They're protected not by the Constitution. They're protected by judicial immunity. They have given themselves immunity because the defamation laws say that defamation is unprivileged, false communication, unprivileged. So their communication behind the bench is privileged. They can say false stuff about you behind the bench and you can't sue them. So they have given themselves privilege against defamation. Tennessee dirty judges. They've said some heinous, crooked, wicked things about me. Drug you into court, they'll drag you into court, say wicked things against you, and you say, well, I'll sue you for saying that. Can't sue them. Privilege communication. So in the law, they got it written. They've got it written, defamation. Look at the definition of defamation. Any unprivileged, false communication disseminated to at least a third person that tends to lower somebody in the standing of the community. So that bar of unprivileged, they can say false communication lowers you in the standing of the community, but the privileged part stops them. The only thing that stops me, it's not privilege. I have no privilege. I'm speaking the truth. Everything I say can be backed up. There's a problem with that. Their dirty judges will say that it's not true when it is true. And that's why we need to fight. We don't have a courtroom that will minister justice. We got a courtroom that will minister for people in power to keep them in power. So my speech is regulated by defamation laws. The Constitution says I can speak, freedom of speech, but you can't say false stuff to the public that lowers somebody's standing in the community. Nothing I say is false. I have that standard they don't have. They can say any damn thing they want about me, and they do all the time. So judges give themselves immunity. It's not constitutional immunity. It's not Congress didn't say you got immunity. We didn't say they got immunity. I wouldn't give them immunity. They have adjudicated they got immunity. Pretty good deal for themselves, isn't it? Court invented obsolete judicial immunity, shielding judges even when they, even when they violate the law, violate ethics, violate constitutional rights, retaliate, commit misconduct, act with malice, knowingly a falsification or reckless disregard for the truth. That's malice. So even if a judge in a courtroom knowingly acts with malice, that means he knows the falsity of what he's saying, or acts with reckless disregard for the truth, he's still immune from any civil or criminal prosecution. So they get in those courthouses, this Tennessee dirty judiciary, they get in those courthouses and they administer the most crooked, wicked, evil, vile, they say the most vile things. Sit in the Tennessee courtroom and listen to some of these judges. They say the most vile things, and they're completely privileged. They can say that all day they want to. And they arrest me and tell me that I don't have a constitutional right on a public sidewalk, and I do. It's not violation of defamation. It's the truth. It's every damn bit the truth. I can tell you a judge that sat in the courtroom said vile stuff about me. It's recorded. I'll tell you what he said. Had no right to say it. I'll say the Tennessee courtroom violates your right to due process. The Tennessee judge, when I was trying to defend myself, said, shut up, you can't speak. I was answering a question. He wouldn't let me answer a question that would have showed I wasn't guilty. A Tennessee judge threatened to put one of my witnesses that was saying I didn't do anything wrong, threatened to put one of my witnesses in jail. Violation of due process. That's violation of due process. That's not defamation. That's the truth. Judge McMillan in a Tennessee courtroom. You get drug in there, he'll do that to you too. But if you try to sue him or hold him accountable, these dirty Tennessee judges have given themselves judicial immunity. They can commit crimes in the courtroom. It's all right. They're immune from that. And if you speak up against it on a public sidewalk, our last method to challenge the corrupt judiciary and say, we can't put them in jail. We can't sue them civilly. They got immunity. They've given themselves immunity, not by the Constitution, not by Congress vote, not by the voters. But the way we can beat them is stand out on the sidewalk or get on YouTube or call your friends and neighbors and say, vote them out. vote them out. But they won't even let you say that. They'll put you in jail for saying that. It's not even funny. They put me in the hospital for saying vote them out. They have immunity from knowing and making false findings. They make false findings of fact. They literally, Tennessee Judiciary, will adjudicate that it is dark, pitch dark when it's daylight. They will adjudicate, and they have. I've seen them do this. They will adjudicate that it is daylight when it's dark. They will. I can show you cases. They will adjudicate that a light's on when it's not. They'll write that as fact. A light's on when it's not. I mean, I can show you. That's not defamation. It's true. I can show you the pictures. I can show you the evidence. Now, I can't sue them for that. They can't be put in jail for that, for falsifying evidence. They can't be put in jail for that. The only recourse that we have is to vote them out. Send a message. The next judge is up for election in the next election, Judge Lewiskovich. And if you're in your county and state, vote them out. Send a message. We're not tolerating you're stepping on the Constitution. If you complain to the judiciary about the judiciary, the fox guarding the fox house is what it is, you're not going to get anywhere. They'll dismiss your complaint. Here's people on the judiciary that dismiss my complaint against the judge, not complaining for myself, complaining because he put somebody else in jail against violation of his constitutional rights. They can violate your constitutional rights. You can't sue them. Can't put them in jail. Here's a judge right here. Here's these disciplinary counsel for this Tennessee. I want to show you these people. Does it look like I'm afraid of them? Jeffrey M. Arthorne, crooked man. H. Allen Bray, crooked lady. Edward L. Crow, crooked. Reed Ellison, crooked. William Cock Jr., crooked as hell. He's the dean of the law school that I went to. He's a dirty judge, a dirty man. Yeah, I said it. Connie M. McNull, crooked. Albert Mosley, crooked. Benjamin S. Price, crooked. Richard Rogers, crooked. Dan Springer, crooked. Teresa M. Smith, crooked. Valley L. Smith, crooked. John W. White, crooked. Robert W. Wilson, crooked. Now, who stands on a public sidewalk? And I'm under defamation law. Sue me. These people can sue me. I said they are crooked. They don't administer the law according to the Constitution. They allow judges to violate the Constitution. Now, that's not defamation. I don't stand by. I'm not like them. I'm not immune. I don't stand on absolute immunity. Even though I violated the law, you can't prosecute. That's what they do. Even though I violated the law, you can't touch me. Can't touch this. Yeah, we can. Called voting. I'm subject to defamation laws. If you call somebody crooked and they're not crooked, they can sue you, and you have to go to court, and we'll lay it out. It's not defamation. I'll lay it out how they're crooked. I'll present my case in front of a dirty judge who will find it in their favor. But if I had an unbiased judge, in a Tennessee courtroom, and one of these people sued me because I just said, you heard me live, 1.3 million people, I called out their names for the Tennessee Judiciary Board, the board that, the Judiciary Conduct Board that regulates judges. When you make a complaint, these people look at it, see if you got a valid complaint, and they will dismiss your complaint even if it's valid. I said that. It's not defamation. It's the truth. In front of 1.3 million people, I've disseminated it. I was disseminated. And if I'm calling them crooked and they're not crooked, they can sue me. But I stand on not judicial immunity. I stand on the truth. It's not false. That's my defense. It's the truth. You can say it if it's the truth. Well, I just said it and it's the truth. And I'm not just talking, just saying stuff. I got proof that they're crooked. They dismissed a legitimate complaint against a judge that violated people's constitutional rights in the Knox County courtroom. Dismissed it. They're crooked. That's crooked. They should have looked into the complaint. They didn't even look into it. They lied about it. And the other judges lied about it. So if you bring a complaint against a judge, they're going to lie about it. They're protecting themselves. We're immune. We can do whatever the hell we want to do. And we damn sure will. Constitutional rights. Yeah, constitutional rights my ass. You better kiss my ass. Your Constitution don't mean a damn thing in my courtroom. They can actually say that to you. And they don't. They don't. And they mean it. And if you don't like it, they got a sheriff's deputy with a gun that just tampered with the witness, and he'll shoot you dead in a courtroom. They'll make it look pretty. They're the master of manipulation. Oh, we had to do that. We had to kill him. We had to arrest Van Morgan because he called us crooked. How about you straighten out your crooked? I'm not shutting up. I'm going to ask people to vote. Get the hell out of our constitutional, supposedly, courtrooms. So these judges ruled. They didn't even rule. They didn't even look into my complaint. They didn't care. You can violate people's constitutional rights all the hell you want to, judges. We don't give a damn. You're on our side. You're on the governor's side. The governor should have never been elected. And he was elected by deceiving people. Jesus threw people out of the temple for what Governor Bill Lee did. He ought to be in jail for some of the crimes that he committed against humanity. Yeah, who says that's the truth? That's not defamation, it's the truth. Look at the fatality rate on Tennessee roadways. He promotes people to higher office that cause the fatality rate to skyrocket. They even get themselves hurt. So these judges sent me a letter after I complained, these crooked people, that are supposed to look at judges, and Judge Cope, he's the dean of my law school. That lazy thug drives around his BMW. Wow, he's got his picture up on the wall. He used to be Chief Justice, the chief liar, the chief crook. Yeah, I'm saying it's the truth. It's all people. You can't say that. I just did. What are they going to do? It's called the Constitution. It's my constitutional right to speak out against people in government power. I got a right to do that. If they don't like it, object to it. You can't throw me in jail. Not supposed to. They tried to. They did. So they sent me a letter, said, thank you for your complaint. It's invalid. They didn't say you made a false complaint, because I didn't make a false complaint. I didn't make a false complaint at all. I made a very valid complaint protecting people's constitutional rights that these judges, dirty judges in Tennessee, violated them. They had a witness under oath that testified to the fact that she wasn't in fear of somebody, that so they didn't need to be put in jail. The judge asked her the same question, trying to get the lady to say she was in fear. When she wouldn't say she was in fear, she said she was mad at the person. Didn't say she was in fear. The judge wanted her to say she was in fear in order to put the person in jail. They had to be locked up. She was afraid of them. She didn't say she was afraid of them. She admitted that they didn't commit a criminal act, that they accidentally did something. So it's not a criminal act to accidentally do something. That's not a criminal violation. So a deputy sheriff tampered with a witness under oath. The judge saw that a complaint. It's on videotape. They didn't investigate that. They dismissed it. They're going to back up their judges, and they're dirty. Then when I went to apply for my law license, because I complained against the judge through their damn procedure, and they didn't say, you shouldn't have made that complaint, it's wrong, you defamed that judge. They said, thank you for your complaint, unfounded. It wasn't unfounded. Their complaint process is designed, these unconstitutional judges in Tennessee, complaint processes are designed to get your name, to find out who's complaining, to find out who the enemy is, so that they can hold that against you and punish you for making a legitimate complaint. That's how they do. So when I got my law license, they used me making a complaint against the judge as reason to deny my law license, because I complained through their procedure against the judge. I didn't get on YouTube at that time and say that judge is dirty. I complained through their procedure because I did that. They used that against me. So if you complain on the judge, they use it against you, and that's all their names. The Tennessee Judiciary. They rule it's daylight when it's dark. Here's the Tennessee judge's ruling. Tail lights on. You see the tail lights on right there? The same judge adjudicated that tail lights were on, and I'm just showing you a comparison when they weren't on. So they'll adjudicate as far as daylight is from dark. So in this case, with the trooper that went in pursuit of this lady, a 16-year-old was killed. Amanda Cohen, a 16-year-old dance team member, William Blount High School, was killed because of a trooper's misconduct, who never went into court because he's on their team. Never went into court. never had a hit out on him. They put a hit out on me because I made a complaint against THP sergeant, against the THP supervisor. So I'm going to show you the picture, the lady's picture that's up for re-election, and the picture of some dirty prosecutors in Tennessee, a picture of the dirty judge in Tennessee that adjudicated that I don't have a constitutional right, to speak out. That adjudicated that Charles Van Morgan does not have constitutional rights. Now get this, I don't need their permission to get constitutional rights. The Constitution is my right to stand on, regardless of what they say and regardless of what any dirty judge says. We got a right to our constitutional rights, and we don't have to give them our constitutional rights. And if they try to take them away, then that's what the Second Amendment's for. And that's what voting's for, is to exercise our constitutional rights. So here is what a judge adjudicates. This is Tennessee judges. We're talking about dirty Tennessee judiciary, Tennessee. The dirty judiciary. Vote them out. Vote them out. So they adjudicate as far as daylight is to dark. They'll adjudicate that a light's on when it's not on. They'll adjudicate facts that aren't there. A Tennessee judge adjudicated that a light was on when it's not on. And here's showing photographic evidence of a judicial lie. But he's immune from prosecution. Is he immune from votes? So here's a tail light. Tennessee tail light on. You can see tail light's on that picture. See how bright that is? So it's on. That's when I started a pursuit. A tail light's on. That's what I'm pursuing, those lights right there. Now, a judge adjudicated that I should have seen this car because the tail light's on. That's a dirty Tennessee judge. Okay, you see the cars? Those right side by side. See those glowing lights? You see glowing lights there? No. That's not, there's no tail light on. That's the only light is that my headlights glancing across the rear of that car, which there's no damage to it. There's tail lights on there. So here's the same car early. That's the same car. Tail lights on. See that glow? You can see spotlight. You can see it glow. Tail lights on. Tail lights none. There's no tail lights on. So you can see side by side. Here's a judicial lie. Okay, that's what I'm pursuing. The car wrecks out of my sight. There's no taillights on. Here's Judge Lafever. Here's Tennessee Judge. Judge Lafever, item 5. This is his legal ruling. The grievance in-car video recorder captured the silver car crashed. It doesn't capture crash. And it's taillight glowing. Taillight glowing. No lights on. There's no taillight glowing. You can see before on, there's no taillight glowing. So that'd be what you call a judicial lie. But he's immune. They gave themselves immunity from violating the Constitution, from violating their due process rights to adjudicate the truth. So he adjudicates a lie. If the facts aren't there with a Tennessee judge, say the facts aren't there, they can't convict you because the murder weapon, the fingerprints belong to somebody else. Well, they'll lie. They'll adjudicate that those are the fingerprints. They got an expert witness. No, there's no fingerprints there. The judge will say, I'm writing it in my ruling, item 5, line 6, that those are your fingerprints, but they're not. That's what I say. I'm immune from prosecution. I'm God on this earth, and I'll adjudicate you go to jail for the rest of your life, or I'll adjudicate you get executed. Tennessee Judiciary Let's bow down and worship the robes. Let's worship the liars. They're dirty liars. I'm not telling you it's for my good. I'm just telling you. That happens every day in a Tennessee courtroom. They write down a lie. And a judge said, and that's what people say. Oh, it's in the newspaper. A judge ruled this. A judge ruled a lie. A dirty lie. They're dirty, crooked, dirty, lying judges that affect the populace. Here's a dirty judge right here. Here's a picture of the dirty judge. How you doing, Mr. Coke? Got his millions of dollars. Wow, he's chief liar. Chief William Coke becomes Dean of National Law. Yeah, the chief liar. How you doing, Coke? See, they want their legacy. They love their legacy. They don't want somebody out here saying you're a dirty judge or a creep. You ought to be. You shouldn't be a dean of a law school. You're a dirty man. No. Oh, when I come out of the bathroom, it smells good. You stand up for me. I'm the king. You ain't nothing but a dirtbag. You shouldn't be in public power. You have no conscience. You have no belief in the Constitution. I believe in the Constitution. I believe you're a dirty judge that shouldn't be in any position of power, and they ought to take your picture down and talk about the man that you are. I went to your law school, spent there 4 years, spent my time, but my time means nothing. Your time means everything, and you're up on the wall. You want your name known throughout all generations because you're the God. Yeah, you're something else. You're something else. And you run into a real fighter. You got your lies, and I got the truth. So we'll see who wins this battle. This is Judge Coke, National School of Law. Go there, spend your 4 years, pay him money so he can sit back and do nothing. Defend drunks. How you doing, Coke? I bet you love me, yeah. You'd like to kill me, wouldn't you? Dirtbag. That's your legacy, in my opinion. Look at these other judges here in Knox County. This is what they rule for. Look, there's the governor promoting a judge. Woo! He's a great man, ain't he? Hey, yeah, I'll rule. I'll rule for the Constitution. I'll rule for your constitutional rights. No, he won't. He'll rule in favor of him. If he wants you to go to jail, by George, you'll go to jail because he's the king. And he promoted him. If he wants to get promoted higher, he'll listen to that Christian man. Oh, he's a Christian. He wouldn't lie. He wouldn't lie about anything. He wouldn't close down hospitals and cause people to die, would he? And a judge will adjudicate every time the governor's right. But Your Honor, the tail light's not on. But Your Honor, I didn't do anything wrong. Tail light's on. Tail light's on. I'm telling you, I'll do it to you. If they'd do it to a trooper on the road risking his life, you don't think they'd do it to you? The problem is they didn't think the trooper on the road that was fighting for people's lives would go into politics and fight for people's constitutional rights. I was fighting traffic fatalities, pretty damn good at it, led the whole state. Now I'm fighting them. So they just switched to fight. So we'll fight whatever the good cause is. So now I'm fighting these dirty, crooked judges that cause people to get killed. It's the same thing. Drunk drivers cause people to get killed. Dirty judges cause people to get killed. That's the truth. If you don't like it, change the channel. I got a right to say it, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And 3 lawyers tapped as finalists for Knox County Criminal Court trial. Yeah, wow. And you think if you're innocent, and the governor wants you to go to jail, the Christian governor, wow, he's such a good Christian. People, food stamp program cut off, children starving, and he's excusing and prettying and beautifying it when he could have used the emergency fund to feed starving little children in Tennessee. But I've heard people say there's no starving children in Tennessee. Yeah, and there's no homeless people, and there's no problem with crooked judges, and you go live in your little pea-brain world. I'm telling the truth, and you're not going to stop me. The only person that's going to stop me is God. When he says it's time to stop, I'll stop. Thank you for the over 1.3 million people climbing every day. Subscribe to the channel. They don't want this out. They want you to go in a courtroom and keep your damn mouth shut and obey the judge that violates your constitutional right, that makes up evidence. They don't want the truth out. They don't want somebody to show you, look at what these judges are doing. The Constitution doesn't matter. They'll step on soldiers' blood and laugh at it. Their conscience is seared. So if you have information about a judge, go on my survey and fill out the information you have about dirty judges. If I can find out it's true, I'll put it out. I might put it out as unsubstantiated, questioning that. Go on my survey and fill out information if you want to. You can do it anonymously about Tennessee judges. This Tennessee judge, Lefevre, that adjudicated that a light was on, didn't listen to a qualified expert opinion may be offered evidence that relates to the subject that is not within the understanding of an average person of ordinary experience, education, knowledge. This judge didn't have knowledge about perception, reaction, mechanical. It's a form of knowing human limitations. He didn't have any expert knowledge, but he dismissed several experts that said I didn't do nothing wrong. So they arrested me for speaking the truth to power. I'm not speaking to them. They don't. People in power, people in government power right now aren't going to listen to me. I'm not wasting my time talking to them. I could care less. I know what they think. They're dirty liars. They're criminaloids. I know what they think. I'm not arguing with them. I don't have any use for them except for them to be prosecuted for their crimes against humanity. That's what I want to do. But I don't want to talk to them. If they want to speak while they're going to trial, then they got a Fifth Amendment right to speak. I'm speaking to you, the public. I'm speaking truth to power. You're the power. You have the power. Talked to a lady this morning. Don't believe voting matters. Well, I disagree with that. I think it does. I think it can. That's what I'm trying to get people to do. Spread this message. Ask people to vote these people out of office. Here's what they did to me when I was running for government office. Donald Trump mugshot. Trump's booking photograph. Yeah. Charles Van Morgan. That's me. They put me in jail for saying vote these people out of office. Now, I'm a white man. Is there prejudice going on in the state of Tennessee? Rosa Parks is a hero. But what about a white man? Get put in jail for standing up for the Constitution, for not just black people's rights, not just white people's rights, for all people, all American citizens' rights, all citizens in the United States. And specifically in Tennessee, I'm standing up for your rights. Speaking the truth to you all when the government don't want me to speak truth to power. They don't want me to speak to you, so they put me in jail. Now, if you go to jail if you're African American and you're standing up for your constitutional rights, and then you're a hero. But if you're white, maybe there's a little racism there. If you're white, not with all African Americans, then you're a destructive person. Yeah, right. So, and I'm not violent. I'm talking votes. I'm saying vote these people out of office. This man right here is violent. People in government power are violent. This man right here is violent. Mr. Jeffrey Ward. He's a violent man. Jeffrey Ward. He ought to be in a mental ward, so he ought to be. Part of the judiciary. Part of the judiciary. Judiciary's violent. If they catch you on the road, they don't like the way you defended yourself in a courtroom. They don't like the way you exercise the constitutional right. I'm just telling you, not that you threaten him. I'm not threatening him. I would never go hunt him down or do anything. I will exercise my constitutional right to say that I think he's a violent man. That's not defamation. It is true. Defamation is false communication. Remember, false, that little falsity causes them a little trouble. Well, what he's saying is true. Yeah, you think? Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you ought to correct your activity. But they won't correct their activity. They don't think they have to listen to people. They think they're above you all. Yeah, they're not. You know, it's human nature. They get used to walking in the courtroom with a big fancy robe on, and they just walked out of the bathroom and smells good. You know, I'm good. Everything good about me. I'm just saying. Walk in a courtroom and Judge, all rise. The Honorable Judge Jeffrey Ward, stand up. So everybody stand up. And, how would you feel? You walk in the room, everybody stands up, and everybody, oh, there's the judge, and stand there, and everybody get off your phone and pay attention to the judge. You feel, hey, man, I own this place. Man, I'm powerful. I'm a powerful man. Constitution, hell, it's all about me. I got to get more power. It's about me. Hell, people's constitutional rights. I want power. Yeah, and anybody says anything out of line, you'll turn that phone off, sir. Or pay attention to the judge, sir. Oh, yeah, they enforcing the law and enforcing my law, my rules, because I'm the great honorable judge, got this robe on. You seen him stand up. And judge said, I think we need to take a break. You know, I got to go pee. I'm a great judge. Oh, we'll take a break. He decides when to take, and everybody, all rise, and the judge walks out, you know. Walks out, staggers out, you know, and then you stand up and say, Your Honor, I'd like to, Mr. Ward, I'd like to defend myself. I don't think that it's right. The accusation's been made against me. I got a Fifth Amendment right to a fair trial, Mr. Ward. That's what the Constitution says, Mr. Ward. How about the Constitution? Mr. Ward says, you shut up. You think that Constitution matters in me here? You say, what's the Constitution? I'll sue you, Your Honor. You can't sue me. Absolute immunity. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Hell, I can shoot you in the head in this courtroom and I won't be adjudicated. I'm the God. I'm a God. My shit smells good. I mean, what the hell you want? That's what these people think. I'm not exaggerating. I literally went to a hearing, a public hearing, with this man right here, because he was trying to get a higher judicial ship. This is true. It's not defamation. This is true. And public hearing, people running for office, higher judgeship, a position of power, complete immunity. The public was given the right, apparently, to speak when these people are running for office, to speak against them or for them. So I went down to the Howard Baker School of Public Policy. They got bad public policy now. Public policy would make your food prices lower. Something going on with the policy. Something going on with the judicial immunity. That they can make any damn policy they want. They just fine. You don't, because their policy, because their judges getting out of their wrong. So this judge, these people about this Mr. Ward, they called his name, so I stood up. They sent me a letter. Hey, I'd like to make a public comment, please. Oh, the time for public comment has passed. Sure it has. Sure it has. Absolutely, yeah, I'm sure. You just put that out so you make yourself look good, like it's a fair judicial promotion process. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's rigged. It's all rigged in their favor, and it could kill you. It could kill you. They'll come in your house and shoot you and say everything's all right, sign a rogue warrant. So I was going to speak out against this judge. I think he's a rogue, dirty judge. Put out a no letter for my law license on Valentine's Day. Yeah, showing me we don't love you. I don't care if you don't love me. Give me what I'm due. Give me my constitutional rights. You don't even have to like me. The Constitution doesn't say you have a right to speak up if we like what you're saying. That's what the Constitution protects, speech against them. That's the most protected form of speech, what I'm saying. More protected than even religious speech, what I'm doing here today. And you got a mugshot. The most protected constitutional speech known in the United States of America, got a mugshot for it. So you tell me that we have constitutional rights and these people adjudicate fairly. Stand up, I swear to uphold the Constitution, and then put me in jail. Really? Maybe next time I won't go. I don't know. So this judge seen me out on the street after I was going to stand up and speak out against him. Now, I didn't yell or raise hell or do anything. I left. They wouldn't let me speak. I tried. Under their rules, you can't even abide by their rules. They won't let you. So then I went out, and I'm driving down Gay Street. And he's standing at a big fancy hotel trying to get judgeship, making all kinds of money, blocking me from practice law while he's getting student loan money from California. California ought to be mad at this man. He's getting your student loan money. He's a ripoff. Don't bring your California to Tennessee, is what Tennesseans say. Californians ought to say, Tennessee, quit robbing our student loan money and giving it to dirty Judge Ward. Hey, Judge Ward, how you doing? I didn't run from you. You better counter what I say, and it's fine with me. You try to hurt me again, and you better not catch me, because you won't like what you catch. You got that? I got a right to defend myself. That's a God-given right, and I'll exercise it, I assure you. And I'm not a dumb little man like you. I know how to do it, boy. You got that? Now, you take your rogueness and do whatever you want to with it. You try to hurt me, and I'll defend myself, little man. I mean, bite off more than you can chew. But what a arrogance. Picking on somebody 6'2", 240 pounds. You're lucky. Time and chance protected you, because if you'd have caught me, I was over here on Gay Street driving down the road, and he seen me, and so he knew I was over there trying to speak out against. So he starts running after me. Violent, you think he's going to shake my hand? He's going to try to hurt me. I could tell. Violent, dirty Tennessee Judiciary. Whoa. But he would have hit me over the head, and they would have put me in jail for his violence because they protect the elite. Yeah, but maybe they would have had to put a toe tag on him because if it gets bad enough, I'll do what I got to do to stay 6 foot above ground, Mr. Ward. That's your damn warning, boy. Now, you can take that however you want to. I got a right to self-defense. You got no right to chase me down the street because I exercise my First Amendment right. You're lucky you didn't get hold of me. Now, the light turned green. So I went on. I'm not trying to pick a fight or stay in the road or argue with him. But you try to chase me down and grab a hold of me, you won't like what you caught. You got that? And a little fella. What arrogance. I mean, they're used to stand up in the courtroom. It don't work that way on the street, boy. Now, here's his picture right here. Mr. Jeffrey Thug Ward, a violent man. Well, that's not defamation. It's the truth. I'm not standing on judicial immunity. I can get up in the courtroom, and he did lie on me. In their judicial ruling, they lied. They lied. That's not defamation. That's a judicial lie. He's a judicial liar. He didn't think I'd do that. Yeah. You forget the human soul and spirit. We're not going to take that. We didn't take it from England. We're not taking it from Tennessee Judiciary. They're dirty judges in Tennessee. So you're lucky you didn't grab hold of me because I would have got you off. I assure you that. He's a violent man. It's not defamation. It's the truth. So here's the dirty Board of Law Examiners that I like to show. Support power to you, the people movement, not politicians. Paid for or authorized by Charles Van Morgan. They steal your tax money. These are Judiciary. Lion Lisa Perlin. There's Lion Lisa Perlin. Imagine that. Unjustice Clark picked a now convicted federal felon who turned down my law license while she's committing an admitted felony of dishonesty, saying that although I committed no crime at all, I lack candor. Tennessee Board, look at them. They're all friends, all there together, all liars. A felon adjudicated that I'm not honest, breaking the law. That's the Judiciary. Now here is that's the Tennessee Judiciary. And those Board of Law Examiners have infected the federal courts. Tennessee infected federal courts. The dirty Tennessee Judiciary has infected federal courts. Federal courts are supposed to be supreme. They're the supreme law of the land. But the Tennessee Judiciary, you cannot practice law in federal court in Tennessee unless you're approved by the Tennessee Judiciary. So even though federal law is supreme, you got to have a Tennessee lawyer that's approved by dirty judges in order to practice law in federal court. So even though I have a law degree, even though I passed the bar exam twice, even though they lied on me, even though they were violent towards me for disagreeing with them, I got to go along. I got to say, I don't deserve my law license. The light was on. I got to swear. Charles Van Morgan, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help your God. I got to raise my hand and say that. In order to get my law license, I have to lie. I have to say what they want me to say. So in order to get my law license, I have to raise my hand and commit perjury and fraud and lie and agree with them. Now that's what kind of lawyers they want, because that's what I had to do. Now I raised my hand, told them the truth, under oath, told them the truth. They don't like the truth, and the truth doesn't go along with their lie, so they act violent towards me. And I always tell the truth. I told the truth, I'm telling the truth now. They keep me from protecting your federal constitutional rights. Tennessee dirty judges, how dirty the Tennessee judges are. Judge Coke, Dope Toke, all these dirty judges. Judge Lefevre, that adjudicated the light was on when it wasn't on. Keep me from defending you in federal courts. And these federal judges go right along with the program. The judiciary in Tennessee is in horrific state. The Tennessee Judiciary keeps me from protecting your federal constitutional rights. I can't even practice law in federal court and protect your federal constitutional rights because the dirty Tennessee Judiciary, while they're committing crimes, say that I'm not credible, while at the same time giving me subpoenas to testify in court for them. I'm committing crimes of dishonesty. But if I went along with the program and lie under oath for them in their favor, then I'm credible and I can practice law, as long as I go along with the lie. So it's not about the Constitution, it's not about telling the truth, it's not about honor and dignity, it's about going along with Tennessee Judiciary's violation of your constitutional rights. That's why I'm out of here on the sidewalk, not in their dirty courtroom, because I protect the Constitution. Now let me say this. I'm into politics, vote them out, vote them out. Or in some cases, don't vote them in, don't vote them in. Now I think you should stand on your core principles. I believe in, as far as possible, protecting human life from birth to death. I believe that the death penalty should be given out to the most heinous, serious criminals. I believe in the death penalty, but they shouldn't be killing everybody and their brother for crimes that aren't serious enough to be killed for. And such a core principle I have. I might vote for a candidate that believes in my core principles, even though I don't like some of the other things, rather than have somebody elected that wants to kill everybody and their brother and abort babies 2 seconds before they're born or after they're born, let them die on the table. I'm not going to vote for somebody like that. I'll vote for the best of the worst. But there are people I know ahead of time that I'll recommend you don't vote for. One of them is Chad Ogle, brother of Kim Ogle. Kim Ogle is a retired captain with the THP, a retired liar with Tennessee Highway Patrol, a total dirtbag that used her position to get real criminals out of crimes, and now is trying to get her brother elected to the sheriff's department in Sevier County. Hello, Kim, how you doing? Yeah, I got a right to speak. You don't like it, you try to hurt me, it'll be a bad day for you and any trooper that tries to hurt me unlawfully. It'll be a very bad day. Now, that's not a warning, that's a threat. I'm going to protect myself. You got that? Leave me alone. I commit a crime, go get a valid warrant, and I'll go. You try to hurt me, pull your little dirty tricks, it'll be a bad day for you. You got that? And I'm not hunting you down, you hunt me down. And she'll send one of her thugs after me. So, if I get kicked off here for saying I'm going to defend myself, these people are dangerous. I done told you one of them chased me down the street because they don't like me because I spoke up in a public forum trying to get him not elected. I got a right to try to not get people not elected. You don't got to agree with me. You got to let me speak. So Chad Ogle's her brother. I wouldn't elect Chad Ogle that's Chad Ogle. Couldn't be more proud of my brother. He definitely has my vote. Kim Ogle, crooked Kim Ogle, wanting to get her brother elected so they can do more crooked in Sevier County. So if he don't get elected, you can blame me, Kim. I'm proud of it. I did some good. Don't vote for Chad Ogle for Sevier County Sheriff. His sister is a dirtbag. They will help criminals get out of crimes that benefit them. You can commit a crime if you're a criminal. If you benefit them, that's fine. They love it. They'll help you. They'll help you get out of crimes. They'll use the state name. They'll do whatever. It's not defamation. It's true. But if you commit a crime and you're not helping them, then they don't care if you go to jail. If you don't commit a crime, but you're against them, they'll try to have you put in jail, testify against you in civil proceedings, try to ruin your life. They'll lie if you're against them. So, go ahead, Kim, do what you need to do. You babbling little fat woman, do what you need to do. And your brother, I'll stay out of Sevier County. Don't worry, don't kill me because I would have you not elected. But I do have people that I know in Sevier County, and I'll call them and say, I wouldn't vote for that man. His sister is not a very good person, and she shouldn't be voted in office. If y'all wonder why I sound a little bit unruly, the success of the unruly. William A. Gampson, he did a study. You don't get anywhere by being nice to these thugs. You stand up against them. The thugs that go for the wrong get promoted. The thugs in a Tennessee courtroom, the judiciary, Tennessee judiciary in Tennessee, I've seen it happen. It's not defamation. The Tennessee judiciary in Tennessee allow perjury in their courtrooms. And if you lie for the state government, for people that violate constitutional rights, then you don't get disciplined, you don't get put in jail for perjury like a citizen would. If you lie under oath to get out of a crime, if you lie under oath against the government and you're a citizen, you will go to jail. You'll go directly to jail. If you go to court and try to get your constitutional rights, you could still go to jail. You go to jail if you're a civilian. The jails are busting out. They want to control you. But if you lie for the government, your perjury is stamped with the weight of law, and you get promoted. You get promoted. Now, Terrell Johnson. Captain Robert Terrell Johnson. Look at that man. Now, he lied under oath. He's a liar under oath. I'm talking about Captain Robert Terrell Johnson, and I'm saying, right there he is. Look at that. He's a captain now. And I'm alleging, if it's not true, it's defamation. I'm alleging, I'm showing this picture. Terrell Johnson, how you doing, Terrell? You doing all right? Yeah, I hope not. I hope you straighten out your wrong that you done that caused people on the road to get killed. But you don't care about people getting killed. You care about getting promoted, getting that big fancy paycheck. I hope a drunk driver that you let go doesn't run into you. That might be bad. I'd hope that doesn't happen. You don't care about what happens to anybody. You care about your money, your back pocket. You don't care that the mass population, the people in power that need to vote you out, don't have the money to eat, or having a hard time with the economy. Your economy is just real good because you're in the government lying for them. So, but if you lie and commit perjury, and Robert Terrell Johnson, on the record, I'll sign my name to it, committed perjury under oath in a courtroom. He raised his hand, I swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, and he lied knowingly about a material fact. And the government and the judges do not sanction him, do not put him in jail. You go into court and you think a police officer lies on me, a Tennessee judge will put him in jail. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. You don't understand. You'll get an attitude adjustment. A Tennessee judge will take the liar's side. The person that's testifying falsely against you, taking away a right of yours, he will take their side. He will take the side of the wrong. He will make right good. He will honor the falsehood. He will make evil good. It's still evil, but he will make it look like it's good. And put the weight of law on it. Write in an opinion. He's got a robe on. That's all right. Everybody believes it because the judge said it. If a judge says something in the state of Tennessee, it's probably a lie. If a judge orders somebody to go to jail, they're probably innocent. In a lot of cases, that's the truth. You don't hear that said. That's the truth. I know that. I'm speaking from knowledge. Captain Terrell Johnson is a perjurer. He committed a crime in a courtroom. There's his picture. He could sue me for defamation, couldn't he? False communication. The problem with his, I'm not a judge, so I can't get at it by privilege. I'm privileged. I'm not unprivileged. Judges lie, and they're privileged. We lied. We know we lied. We're happy about it. We violated the Constitution. Privilege. Ha ha ha. Can't touch me. You can touch you at the voting booth. Hopefully people will vote these people out. But I'm saying that he lied. He's a liar under oath. That he committed a crime. That's defamation. It lowers him to stand in the community. It might cause people not to deal with him. It says something bad about him. To at least start from 1.3 million people. Terrell Johnson, probably 1.4 million by now. I'm saying you're a liar. But it's not defamation because I don't stand on privilege. I'm not saying something ain't true and saying you can't touch me, I'm privileged. I'm relying on something I know the truth. I've seen it with my own eyes. And the government, people in government power, the judges, the Tennessee Highway Patrol, under coward Matt Perry, who got promoted because he's related to a Supreme Court injustice. Imagine how that happens. So it's a mess. 10 times worse than what you think. So if you lie under oath, Terrell Johnson's a dirty liar. He's responsible for people getting killed. He didn't lower the fatality rate, I did. He stopped me from being able to lower the fatality rate. I'd hate to be that man when he stands before God. If he wants to sue me for defamation, I'll get up in court and argue. I'll lay it out how he lied under oath. I'll show the testimony. I've showed it on videos before. He lied under oath. He's a liar. He's a criminal. A police captain and a liar and a criminal. Dangerous to people's lives. He's in the Department of Safety. He's a danger to your lives because people do get killed and they call it Department of Safety. It's a Department of Public Danger. That's where Kimberly Ogle used to work. Tennessee Department of Public Liars. That if you lie, a judge will say I'm not going to sanction that lie. I'm going to say that lie is the truth. So if you go to a Tennessee courtroom, you think if a police officer lies on you, that they will get held in contempt of court or get put in jail for perjury. No, they won't. I've seen it happen. Terrell Johnson's a liar. Look at these liars here. McCoy. And that is her husband. That's the governor. Now that's who fired me. And she ruled in his favor, in that liar's favor, that con man's favor. Another rich man called him a scoundrel, said he wasn't an honest person, that he shouldn't have dealt with him. And a billionaire, Warren Buffett, said he wasn't an honest person. He shouldn't have dealt with him. So he's a thug. Judge McCoy ruled in his favor. She ruled a lie. Judge McCoy praised at the time Sergeant Heatherly said that her investigation said that she was right in going to the scene a year later and adjudicating and doing an investigation that I seen a wreck that wasn't sealable. Agreeing with the governor, she adjudicated the truth to a lie. She adjudicated the truth to a lie. Ignored perjury. This judge ignored this guy's perjury. This judge right here, Judge McCoy, and that's her husband. That's her husband. She adjudicated, this judge right here, for him. You see, they're friends. They're all friends. Adjudicated Terrell Johnson. Didn't lie. They told the truth. Adjudicated Major Heatherly now. Gets promoted if you lie. Didn't lie. Adjudicated in his favor. Adjudicated that lies are the truth in that dirtbag's favor. Let's stand over there. I got a picture of him standing over on that broken down bridge. They adjudicated for him. They didn't adjudicate the truth. They adjudicated for their buddy, Mr. Eisen, for the people in power. These people in power, they adjudicate for each other. Your constitutional rights don't make a damn. You don't have no constitutional rights. You have to listen to the power, the liars, the perjurers, the criminals. These are criminaloids. So because she adjudicated for the governor, adjudicated falsehoods, she wrote out an opinion that was lies and presents them as fact. And the governor, so the governor wins. He wins every time. You say, well, I got the truth. I got the fact. That didn't matter. It didn't make a damn bit of difference. The Constitution doesn't matter. You know that piece of paper that's supposed to protect you from government overreach, from government abuse, from violation of the Constitution, from the Constitution, from violation of constitutional rights, the one that says Fourth Amendment, First Amendment, the one that says, Judge, look, they violated my constitutional rights. Bill Haslam says, don't worry about the Constitution. Rule in my favor, we got guns. The Constitution doesn't matter. We got weapons and guns. We'll shoot a hole right through that Constitution. That Constitution's supposed to stop their weapons. But it don't. Not under their rogue system of power. So here's Major Perry. Daddy's sissy. Boy, gave him top THP job. He was the only class protected by Daddy not to get sprayed with chemical spray. THP Matt Perry. Everybody in that whole academy went through training where they had to be sprayed with chemical spray. Except for Matt Perry. His daddy wouldn't let him be sprayed with chemical spray. Wow. He's the colonel of the Highway Patrol. A colonel and a coward. The top THP colonel is the biggest coward in Highway Patrol. The biggest coward, uneducated idiot. And the reason why he got promoted is because somebody said that he's got the perfect personality for the job. Wow. You know who said that? Former Supreme Court Justice. So a former Supreme Court Justice said that he ought to have power. That just happens to be related to him, his aunt. So if you got the Constitution that says, hey, this is the Constitution. I got a freedom of speech. This Constitution, I got a right, you got to have a warrant before you come in my house. I got a right under the Fifth Amendment to have a fair trial, a fair hearing with due process, notice and hearing. These are my rights. This is your agreement for this country. If you don't agree to that, don't raise your hand as a judge and do that. Don't be a Supreme Court justice and be a chameleon and deny the Constitution. But if you say, I stand on the Constitution that soldiers fight and die for, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You know what matters? Who's your daddy? Who's your aunt? Who you related to? Hell with the Constitution. Who's your daddy? You won't even get sprayed with chemical spray. I'm just saying. That's the truth. And I'm gonna get this garbage because they'll charge me with littering and try to find any kind of crime to beat me. But that's what they'll do with your constitutional rights. When I was on the road, I lowered the fatality rate. 2010, fatality rate down. They take me off the road, fatality rate went up. So this is the number of people getting killed, less. On the way down is less people. On the way up is more people getting killed on the roadways. So they took me off the road in 2011, and in 2012, they didn't take him on the road. They didn't spray with chemical spray. It ain't about protecting lives and being a public servant. It's about who's your daddy, who's your aunt, who you're related to. The Constitution don't mean a damn thing in this country, in this state of Tennessee. You got a rogue judiciary, you got a rogue court system, you got a bunch of thugs, you got a bunch of criminals. Now, they didn't give me my law license the second time because they admitted in their hearing, they admitted a weakness to me. They admitted in their hearing that when they sent a message out, don't call a thug a thug. Because if you call a thug, we'll put that on our hearing and say, if you call a thug, we won't give you your law license. They admitted in their hearing that I passed out flyers, and I did, and I'll do it again. I got a right to. It's the truth. They don't like it, get out of America. Go somewhere where you don't have a Constitution to get in power. In America, there's a limit on power. It's called the Constitution. You're not going to limit that. We're not going to let you. If you don't want the Constitution to be limited, you want free speakers like me to speak against crooks in power, against the dirty judiciary that stepped on the Constitution. It's a serious thing to step on soldiers' blood that died for our way of life and to completely ignore that. If you don't want that, don't take public office, go to another country and get power. Go to Russia. If you want public servants, you want the Constitution, spread this message. Subscribe, like, and share, and tell your neighbor. Vote. Voters of truth and rage. And we will vote some of these dirty judges out of office. Here's McCoy. After she ruled against me, in violation of the truth, allowing fraud and perjury, she got promoted. Her husband got promoted to the Supreme Court. So the biggest liars in the state of Tennessee are the dirtiest judges. The biggest liars. The top. You say, well, I'll appeal that decision. You'll get a worse decision you got at trial court level because you got a dirty. The higher you go, the dirtier they get. You think they will get promoted had they not agreed with the court, with the governor at the lower court ruling? Had they agreed with the Christian governor? He's a Christian. He says he is. The way he lives and the way he's ran the government is not Christian at all. But he says it, and we got to believe it because people voted for him because he committed fraud on the public. And God's not going to judge me, Bill Lee, for saying that you don't live like a Christian, for saying what you have done to humanity in the state of Tennessee is very horrific. If I were you, I'd get on my knees before God and repent and ask God to forgive me and straighten out my ways. I'd write my warrant out and turn myself into the jailhouse. You know the stuff you've done in the back hallways that we don't know anything about. And you're afraid somebody like me is going to call you out. Well, hello, I'm here. And you don't like me having the right to do it, do you? You want the pulpit. People ain't listening to you. You open your mouth. You know how you can tell if Governor Bill Lee's lying? You know how you can tell if a Tennessee judge is lying? When they open their mouth. When their mouth's open. You know how you can find a Tennessee judge's lie? Read their rulings. It's probably the exact opposite. Find out who got promoted where for lying. They get promoted for lying. If they lie for the governor, they get promoted. She lied for the governor, and the governor promoted her husband to the highest court in the land, Tennessee Supreme Court. So the Tennessee Supreme Court, the most honorable court. The higher they go, the more liars they are. The dirty Tennessee judiciary, stomp on your Constitution. The more they stomp on soldiers' blood, the higher they go in this rogue Tennessee government. That's just the truth. You know, Colorado adjudicated in their corrupt courts. They tried to control the United States of America and take a political candidate off the ballot. State of Colorado, Supreme Court, adjudicated that a political candidate, I don't care who you think it is, a state does not have a right to control the whole country. Colorado took a political candidate off the ballot running for national office. Y'all know the story. Corrupt judges. Corrupt judges in Colorado. Corrupt judges. They ain't in Tennessee, they're all in Colorado. You believe that? Corrupt, dirty judges in Tennessee. Tennessee would have done that. Except for Tennessee just happens to be Republican controlled. But Tennessee is very likely to take a Democratic candidate off the ballot. They might do that. That's how dirty they are in this crooked state. The higher you go in the judiciary, the more dirty they are. The more lies they've told to help the government to get to that level. Dirty Tennessee judiciary, that's what we're talking about. Dirty Tennessee judges. You won't hear this truth anywhere else. People are afraid to do it. I'm not afraid of these thugs, these dirtbags, these political cronies, these people that do anything for power. Here is Governor Bill Lee and his entourage. There's Governor Bill Lee. Sue the governor for violating the Constitution, and you're asking these people right here to adjudicate in your favor. That's the lady she rules for the governor. The governor promoted her nephew to the Tennessee Highway Patrol. So they adjudicate for him and he does them favors. What if he is violating your constitutional rights? You think his buddy's going to rule against you? Going to rule on your side? Hell no. Hell no. So she ruled against me a couple times. That lady right there she is, and all her glorious lying. There she is, a Tennessee dirty judge. Imagine that. She rules in his favor. Let me draw the lines. She rules in his favor, and he promotes him. That's her nephew. So rule in his favor, violate the Constitution. Constitution, hell! What's the Constitution? I want my boy, my nephew, to get promoted to the highest job. He'll be financially secure for the rest of his idiot life. The public be unprotected, but I'm not worried about the Constitution. I'm a judge. I'm a dirty judge. I'm protected absolute complete immunity. I'm not worried about the Constitution. I'm not worried about public safety. He never probably hardly arrested a drunk driver in his damn life. Don't know about chemical spray that they sprayed me with. Sprayed every other trooper with, didn't spray their boy with. He's well trained. Yeah, I was in the academy class with him. Coddled, little bitty baby. I'd like to get in the boxing ring with him. I'm a lot older than him. I believe I can beat the hell out of him in the boxing ring. That's the truth. But the judge rules for the governor. She ruled against me twice. And against the Constitution, against fair process, against the law, ruled for the governor, the lying Christian governor, the dirtbag, thinks God's going to judge me. I don't see any light in him, governor. I don't see any light, and I don't think God's on your side. I don't think God's on the side of a liar. I think God's on my side. I think God likes a truth teller. I think God loves a fighter that fights for mass population. I think God fed the 5,000. He didn't say go work. He fed the 5,000 when they needed it. And I think he would have put out the emergency fund when the food stamp program was dried up because the federal government quit working. Christian governor, my ass. Christian faker, deceive people. And Christian church, I'm not speaking against God. God sent his son Jesus Christ to save the world. I trust in Jesus. He says he does and then does the opposite. If you rule in his favor, and God's not going to judge me for speaking against a man that doesn't do right. That's part of an elite group of people that stomp on the public and little children. That's where I have a problem with you, Bill. You better keep your feet off little children, and you better keep your feet off the Constitution. If you rule in his favor in Tennessee, a dirty judge, you'll get your nephew promoted, you'll get state tax money and benefits for the rest of your damn pathetic lives. And that's what I'm fighting. That's what I'm fighting today. Tennessee judiciary is dirty as hell. Let's get rid of him. Here's a dirty judge right here, Judge Lawson Lewis Thompson, PC. Illicit friendship. Whoops. I'm sorry. Illicit friendship. Illicit friendship with illicit friendship with Judge. So like, share, comment, spread the message. An illicit friendship. He has an illicit friendship, I believe, with Judge McMillan. He defended Judge McMillan in my hearing to try to get my law license. I'm there to get my law license. I'm not there to be criticized. You can listen to my hearing. I posted online before the dirty Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. They're dirty judges. I posted my hearing online. You can hear it. He tries to run me down. How dare you run down the gods, the judiciary? They can stomp on the Constitution all they want to. He didn't say that, but that's what he's saying. You run them down and we'll yell at you. We will stand up to you. You can't run down the judges while they're stomping on the Constitution. It's their right. We're gods. We're in power. We have a right to whatever you got. Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. I'm not going to give it to you. No, you don't. I got a right to speak out against you. Judge Jason Long, Lewis Thompson, PC. It's not defamation. It's true. He's got his law license. A lot younger than me. I'm 61 years old. Don't even have medical insurance or any of that because of dirty judge. He does. Because he's got Judge McMillan in his pocket, don't he? What a dirty man. Judge Lewis Thompson. What a dirty dirtbag you are. There you are. In all his glory. Look at him smiling face. Constitution my ass. You do. I'm happy and rich. I got the judge. Yeah. How about you got any moral ethics? Do you have any belief in humanity? In the goodness and wellness of humanity? I don't think he does. I don't think he does at all. My personal opinion. But you know what? I'll give him some business. Because if you want to win, not justifiably, not constitutionally, but ladies and men that have been abused by women, don't listen to me, please. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Because people can abuse you all they want to. They can beat the hell out of you. There's a Knoxville police officer. There's a Knoxville. This is how serious this is. Because I'm going to give him some business. Not rightfully, but I'm going to tell you how to win a court case. Even if you're wrong. Even if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you how to win a court case. Even if you violated the Constitution, even if you assaulted somebody, even if you committed aggravated assault, I'm going to tell you how to win. Mr. Jason Long. Now, there's an Knoxville police officer that has recently been charged. I'm going to help him out. That has recently been charged with aggravated assault, been arrested by Sevier County Sheriff's Department, I think. And charged with aggravated assault. And they got his picture all over the paper. They love it when they drag the low man on the totem pole into court. And he might have done it, I don't know. He might not have, I don't know. But I'm going to tell him how to win. Even if he's beat the hell out of somebody, even if he's viciously hurt somebody, committed this violence, here's how you win, even if you're wrong. And people that have been abused, I hate to tell you this, don't listen to this. You don't need to hear this. If you've been abused, please don't listen to this, because I'm going to tell you how they're going to get by with it. Here's how they're going to get by with a crime of beating you or whatever they've done, and it happens all the time. Here's how they get by with it. They hire Jason Long. So if you're a violent thug that's beat your wife, beat your girlfriend, that Knoxville police officer, hire Jason Long. He's your ticket. He's the get out of jail free card. Hey Jason, how you doing? I'm just telling the truth. I'm going to send you some business. You're making a lot of money. That's what it's important to you, ain't it? I'm going to tell the public the truth. So if you're beat on your wife, hire Jason Long, because he has got a relationship with Judge McMillan, who's in Knoxville, and maybe, I don't know, he might have in another county. Hey Jason, how you doing? I'm just telling the truth about you. Don't you shut me up. Yeah, you tried to shut me up in your little road courtroom, didn't you? I can't practice law in your courtroom. This is freedom of speech out on the sidewalk. It's not defamation. If it's true, I'll present my case in a courtroom to the public about you, Mr. Jason Doug Long. You was afraid of the judiciary. You ought to be afraid of the truth, boy. And he is a boy. He's 61 years old and don't have any medical insurance because of that little thug man. But he does. He's got a lot of money. So if you committed a violent assault against your wife or girlfriend, you're guilty. You're guilty as hell. I can help you out. Mr. Jason Long can help you out. Because go see him, because he knows Judge McMillan. Judge McMillan is a Fourth Circuit Court judge who doesn't care about the Constitution. I know he does. Some defamation. It's true. Now, he says stuff about me. I'm protected by the truth, supposedly. He can lie, and he's protected by complete immunity. He can commit a crime under Judge McMillan. But Judge Jason Long has a friendship with Judge McMillan. So if you pay him enough money, then Judge Long can go into court with his friend. They're friends. They're all friends. It's a big friendship. You're an outsider. You pay him enough money, he will go into court, and he's friends with the judge. And it's a lot of money. So I'm helping you, Jason. I'm helping you. Jason, I'm getting you some business. Even if you're guilty, don't worry if you're guilty. He can help you get out of it. He'll help you get out of a crime because he's friends with the judge. Because when I said the judge violates people's constitutional rights, he got mad. Oh, don't you talk about that judge. How do you know he violates your constitutional rights? So I committed to telling him. I don't like the truth because the truth don't make them money. So women, if you've been violently assaulted, if you've been beat up, you better hope that your assailant don't go visit Mr. Long, because Mr. Long knows the judge. He protects and benefits the judge, and the judge is going to rule in his favor. That's the way it works. That's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not constitutional. It's not fair. It's not legal. It's not legitimate. But that's the way it is right now, unless we vote these people out. Now, he denied me my law license. So I can't argue, no, that person ought to go to jail. They look at these bruises all over that person, and they violated the law, and Mr. Long's not telling you the truth. But the judge will say, you shut up, Mr. Miller. You shut up, Mr. Morgan. You can't come in this court. That's my friend there. He could literally say that. That's what he'll say. So if you committed a violent assault against your wife or girlfriend, go see Mr. Long. He can help you. I assure you he can. He's friends with the judge. I know for a fact. I can prove it. It's not defamation. It's true. So I gave you some business, Mr. Long. You happy? It don't matter how you get your dollars, beat up women. You got your money, don't you, boy? That's what a thug you are. Here's the thug. Here's the thug, Jason Long. So if you committed a violent assault, violent attack, and you're guilty as hell, you're guilty, go see Jason Long. He'll help you out. He's like that with the damn judge. He's got the judge's pocket. You got to give him a lot of money to get you out of a crime, but he can do it. Women that have been beaten, I hate it. I'm sorry, I really am. I hate that the system works that way, and that it doesn't work. It works for them, gets him rich, gets a lot of women beat up without any recompense, and that's what I'm here today for. That's why I'm here. That's not right. That's not justice. That's not safe. That's not fair. These people need to go down. They need to be voted out. They shouldn't be in any position of authority in any government anywhere, let alone the United States of America, where we have freedom, where we have constitutional courts, supposedly. So they put out a hit on me, and they may still have a hit on me, which I don't care. Here's a dirty judge in Tennessee. Here's just some of the stuff these dirty judges. The commissioner of the Department of Safety told the judge what to say. The judge writes down verbatim what the commissioner of the Department of Safety said. And I'm thinking, why would he do that? The commissioner, I know he's a high conflict man, but he's just commissioner of the Department of Safety. Why would Judge Long back up McMillan? Because McMillan gives him rulings, I'll bet. Why would a judge almost had a wreck on camera? Why would a judge rule the same as the commissioner of the Department of Safety when the commissioner's lying? Because the commissioner of the Department of Safety, it's all in the family. Let's keep it all in our little family. Adjudicate against the mass populace. If you ain't got people in state government, if you ain't got power, or you ain't elected to public office, deceitfully elected to public office, you ain't got a chance in their damn road courtrooms. You won't win anything. You'll get told to shut the hell up and take what they give you, or they will kill you. So the commissioner of the Department of Safety, his wife, or his wife is a federal judge. So of course they're going to rule in favor of the judiciary. Here's the commissioner of the Department of Safety, Bill Gibbons. Here's his wife. Court of Appeals, senior judge, 6th Circuit Court of Appeals, Gibbons. So she rules in his favor. So if Bill Gibbons, he was a commissioner over the Department of Safety. He's a former prosecutor in in Memphis, in Shelby County. So if he violated your constitutional rights and you appealed to the United States courts, then you get his wife that adjudicates that her husband did wrong. We got to put she's going to put her husband in jail, rule against him? I doubt that. Constitutional courts, they're not constitutional courts, they're road courts. They put out rulings, false, blatantly unconstitutional rulings. Blatant false lies. They put them out on significant days to try to show you we're going to lie and stick it in your face. We're going to show you how powerful we are. We're arrogant. They put out a ruling denying me my law license February 14th. Put out a verse ruling on Valentine's Day. There it is, verse ruling. Tennessee Board of Law Examiners, February 14th. A verse ruling against me with full of lies, full of deceit, a con, where a Barbara Zulica, right here present, Barbara M. Zulica, she was committing a crime of deception. She was committing a lying crime. She put out a ruling on February 14th. So a liar is convicted. That's not defamation, it's true. I'll show you her conviction record. That's whitewash now. They clean up their record. She put out a ruling on Valentine's Day while she was facing criminal charges for lying. So they put out their significant rulings. Liars, fraudsters, say that you're not honest and put out that ruling that you're not honest on Valentine's Day. Wow, doesn't that send a message? And her name, Barbara Zulica, at the top. You could find her criminal record, but her buddies in government office have erased her record. You commit a felony of deception and lie and thievery, and see if you can get that off your record. You can if you're in the judgeship. If you're a judge, nothing stays on your record because they got a higher standard. Their standard is do any damn thing I want to do, any damn time I want to do it, and that's okay. And my buddies in the judicial offices, the Judicial Accountability Board, will rule in my favor, and attorneys love me because I rule in their favor, and you'll get the Constitution violated and they'll get whatever they want to. So they put out a hit on me for saying this. Here's some Tennessee court judges. They care about foreigners, not Tennesseans. Protect yourself and all Tennesseans from rogue Tennessee injustices. Kirby, Clark, Bivens, Lee, Page, vote them out. The retention election is 2030 now. Tennessee Supreme Court retention election 2030. And well, the governor can't be voted out now. Oust the governor. We're still trying. We put that out. We put that out before, and we're still trying. We're not giving up. So here's Mr. Bill Gibbons. So that's Bill Gibbons, that's his wife. So you think you're going to get a ruling against him if he violates your constitutional right, if he orders a trooper to steal your car, when his wife is a chief Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals judge? Let's keep the corruption in the family. You'll never get a correct ruling. She'll violate the Constitution. Judges are dirty. Tennessee Judiciary is dirty as hell. They rule in favor of people in power, violate your constitutional rights, and they're proud as hell of it. They're proud as hell of it. They got a gun if you don't like it. You hold up the Constitution, which is supposed to protect us from the government, they walk all over it. They think the Constitution's a damn joke. It was written by optimistic people that thought people deserved freedom and could run their own country and deserved to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that ain't going to fly with these people, because the judiciary thinks that we deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And your job as citizens in the state of Tennessee is to do what the hell we tell you to do when we tell you to do it, or we'll lock you up and the prisons are busting. So my message for today: Tennessee courts are dirty as hell. The election is coming up for the judicialship in Knoxville. Mary Beth switch, can't say her name, and her vote is coming up in 2026. Vote her out. Don't vote to retain that judge. In 2026, don't vote to retain any of the Tennessee Supreme Court justices. Every one of them need to be voted out. So in closing, I want to show you, I went all over the state, and I'll be all over the state again. Reporting the news from a truthful perspective against people in government power, from your perspective, telling you how it affects you. These dirty judges affect you. And I've been all over the state, and we're going to continue to try to go all over the state. And when I went all over the state, I took pictures of myself in front of Christian churches with their wonderful signs, because my belief is in the Lord Jesus Christ, and that's my hope of salvation. The hope of salvation of these Tennessee judges in their rule of themselves. And so, in closing, let me show you some of these pictures I took from God's houses, messages from God, to try to set the tone. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to vote them out. We're going to get our government back. We're going to lower food prices. And we're going to protect the innocent. And we're going to protect the poor. We're going to protect the stranger. And we're going to protect the fatherless. And we're going to be Christians, not run a Christian government, but we're going to be Christians. And we're going to have people that treat people according to the Constitution with dignity and respect, and people that are respectful in government offices, in our judiciary. You know, the judiciary wants respect without earning it. You don't get respect because you got a damn gun. You get respect by acting in a respectable manner. And until then, you're not going to get respect. You might have it on the front, but it's chameleon respect. You got people like me that are going to put out the truth about you. So we're going to look at these Christian signs I got and show you, if you have time to worry, you have time to pray. So that's just my belief. Here's a church here's a message I left at a church. Dear church pastor Charles, thank you for your sign message. I accepted the free gift. Please pray for us as we pray for you and all the community. Thank you, Charles Van Morgan. So I asked the church to pray for me, and I appreciate the prayers of churches. And if you don't think I'm doing right, ask the Lord to show me. If you think I'm doing right, ask the Lord to give me more power, give me more viewers. Like, share, and comment. So if you think I'm doing right, then hit the like button if you haven't already. So, or hit it and then take it off and then hit it back so I know. So prayer changes things. So voting and prayer changes things. That's what I believe. This is all over the state of Tennessee. I took these pictures. Miracles are what happens when we pray. So I'm a social activist, speaking out against the mistreatment of people by people in government power. So take it to the Lord in prayer. So pray about things. I pray about things. May God help me, protect me, and forgive me. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. This is in another church, all over the state. They don't like me going all over the state using the First Amendment, the most protected form of speech, speaking against these people in public power. But I got a right to do that. I don't need their permission. I got permission under the Constitution. And I'm going to continue to exercise that right. If they don't like it, they got to lump it. So if they take me off here, I'll be on Telegram or another social media. Remember the brand, Charles Van Morgan. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now, I hope to be a good man. I pray that the Lord helps me to be a good man. No peace, no God, no peace. Yeah, that's up in Clinton, Tennessee. No God, no peace. A grudge is too heavy a load for anyone to carry. Yeah, they need to drop the grudge against me. They need to drop the grudge against you. So somebody hit the like button. Thank you. They need to drop the grudge against us. They got a grudge against us. People think I got a grudge against them. I don't have a grudge against them. That's not true. That's absolutely true. See, everything that's true, they flip it and try to blame what they're doing on you. It's called gaslighting. I don't have a grudge against them. I'm speaking in favor of the Constitution. I'm talking about positive things, that we need protections from government overreach. That's embedded in American society. As apple pie and a Ford Mustang. I'm speaking positive things. That's not a grudge. They have a grudge against me. People say you talk about things happened 13 years ago. No, I'm talking about things happened this year, just a few months ago. Denied me my law license again. And it's not just denying me. They took me off the road. I protected you. They denied me a law license not once but twice, that I could have went into court and argued for the Constitution to protect you. They won't let me do that. They got a grudge against me. I don't have a grudge against them. Let me practice law. Let me go in and defend the public. I'm going to defend them out here. If you don't let me defend them in there, they're going to wish they'd let me have my law license, because I don't have to abide by their rules of professional responsibility that say I can't speak out against judges, because I damn sure just did. You know, they got a rule that you can't speak out against judges. If you're a licensed attorney, they take your law license. If a judge violates the Constitution, you can't speak out publicly against them. Say that judge violated the Constitution. I can tell you Judge McMillan violated the damn Constitution. He ought to be held accountable to that. Hold him accountable. Vote him out. So I went all over the state of Tennessee. I'll continue to go all over the state of Tennessee, not with violence, asking people to vote. Wake up. Let's lower the food prices. Let's get medical care for the poor and the needy and the sick and afflicted, like the Christian governor doesn't do. So a grudge is too hard to hold. I don't have a grudge. They have a grudge against me. So here's my banner. It's the Christian banner, the Christian flag. And if you're not a Christian, then that's fine. That's fine. People have a choice. I wouldn't force anybody to be into Christian except in Jesus Christ in the heart. But a Christian is somebody that has Christian values. That means that the values that I have, the values in my heart that I have, are to love your neighbor as yourself. I have that value. Bill Lee says he didn't have it. I love my neighbor as myself. I provided for public safety more than any trooper in the state. The Christian values say don't bear false witness. Don't bear false witness against your neighbor. That's right beside murder. Don't murder. The government bears false witness. They bear false witness in legal rulings. That's my banner. So even if you don't like Christians, at least what I stand for, not to lie on you, to love you as myself, which I do. My life has proved that. They don't. Here's another verse. This helps too. This helps more than voting. Don't stop praying. Prayer moves mountains. So this helps. Praying helps. And I'm going to say this. No, this is alarming. This whole movement, this whole social movement, it's not about them. It's not about me. It's not. I'm out here front line. I could get hurt by doing this. People should appreciate it. I'm giving you this for free. This on the house. This is pure truth on the house. Nobody says it but me. God sent me. It's not a grudge. It's God's truth. It's the truth. God's the author of truth. Satan's the author of deception and lies, which is what's in our government now. But this is more important than voters of truth and rage. You know what that is? It's more important than voting. I'll tell you it is. It's much more important than voting. You know what it is? It's real simple. You can do it every day. You can do it all day long. To pray. Pray about things. Ask God to help. And don't stop praying. It moves mountains. Pray that people vote. Get up and vote. Praying helps more than voting. And pray and vote. But pray. It helps. It's the answer between heaven and hell. Pray and ask God to come into your heart. Pray and ask God to straighten out the dirty Tennessee judiciary. Pray that God changes their sheared heart or removes them from office. Pray that God exposes Governor Bill Lee. Governor Bill has them. I'm sure trying to do it, telling you the truth about them. So here's some more messages from God's holy word. Faith takes you through a problem, not around it. Sometimes it does. Sometimes faith can take you through the problem. So I don't agree with that sign. So that's Full Gospel House in another city in Tennessee. Faith takes you through a problem, not around it. No, faith sometimes takes you around the problem. But faith can also take you through a problem. So let's look at these other verses. Got a few more here. Don't underestimate what God can do. That's another church that I went to, left a message on for them to pray for me. God is greater than any problem. That's absolute truth. God made you on purpose for a purpose. God loves you. He does very much. Hard times are to be embraced with joy. That's the truth. Hard times are to be embraced. Thank God for problems. Makes you a better person sometimes. Makes you good, makes you honest, makes you fair, makes you tougher. And God is good all the time. God is good all the time. That's right. And this is in another city in Tennessee. When God says no, He has a plan. Keep trusting Him. When God says no, He has a plan. Keep trusting Him. That's exactly true. If God has a plan, that's in another city. It's in Bookwater United Methodist Church. God has a plan. So there's some messages from God's houses that and pray and vote. We'll go out here and look at the beautiful view. I'll try to answer a few questions. And my motive of operandi, there's a lot of haters that I really don't care. A lot of opposition to a lot of good. I guarantee you the Tennessee Judiciary and Tennessee government hates me, which is fine with me. I don't care. They need to straighten up their ways. They should care about people. And they should do right by citizens in Tennessee. So we're going to show you the beautiful view. If y'all want to hold on just a few minutes, I appreciate y'all coming and watching the show. And we'll show you the beautiful view. So let's see here. Can't see the view that way. So yeah, we still got 100 people on here. God bless you all. Thank you for showing up. Like, share, hit the comments, subscribe. And the beautiful Tennessee River. So we'll be back on here tomorrow. Probably. So we'll be back on here tomorrow. So we got some fans out here. And thank y'all so much. We're talking to over 1 million people and got positive reception. People aren't stupid. And I'm not a YouTube or a streamer. Why would I have YouTube videos? Okay, I know y'all talking to each other. Record that for me, please. Okay. You play the right flute today. Send them glory. My family will be looking for you, including me. Okay. I don't know if that's a threat or what. It's just that his followers are rotten and hateful all the time. Oh, except when they pretending in church on Sundays. My followers. Yeah. So there's a lot of haters in here. A lot of people that are good people. Actually, faith is a coat for a problem. So what your sign says is actually directly opposite. So there's a lot of haters on here. And I'm not going to, unless I want to, for the most part, I'm not going to, for the most part, my modus operandi, and I'll give it to you and I'll explain why, but my modus operandi, for the most part, is haters don't deserve your time or effort, and there's nothing you can do to convince them of the truth, because they know the truth, and all they want to do is cause sorrow and heartache, and a lot of them are government bots, and they want to stand up and cause trouble, and they want death and destruction. And to give them weight and time is not helpful. It's detrimental. So I don't even, unless I want to, I don't even engage with the enemy. I don't fight that fight if I don't have to. That's not a very successful tactic of a social movement, is to fight every fight. You're not going to get anywhere by fighting everybody that sticks their stupid head up and argues falsely about something that's completely, totally absurd and obnoxious and crazy. And I don't waste my time. So if I don't comment or respond to hateful stuff, it's not out of cowardiceness. It's out of, I don't care what they got to say. I could care less. It's not beneficial for our fight, our battle, to vote and knock people down and get them out of office. So I'm not responding to stupid and to hate, because it's not a battle that's beneficial for us to fight. Now, if it becomes a battle, trust me, I'm good at that. We'll make it that way. But in order to be tactful, in order to be strategic and tactical, and to advance the cause of voting and getting people in office, the dirty judiciary out, and people in office that will advance our constitutional rights, to argue with every idiot is not very strategic, and it's not helpful, and it's really pretty funny. So I'm not gonna engage with every distraction that comes along, and it's not out of weakness, it's out of strength. Because if it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter, and the haters, they don't matter. The ones that matter are the ones I'm talking about. The ones that matter, that are detrimental to you, that can harm you, are the people in the Tennessee Judiciary that I'm talking about, that we need to vote them out. And that's what the message is about. So we still got almost 100 people in here. Thank you all so very much. And it seems like so I was going to answer a few questions, but it seems like the haters have dominated the screen, and we won't even go there. Thank you all over the world for watching this show. We're broadcasting live from Knoxville, Tennessee. Got over 100 people right now. Wow, this show is going to get. Thank you all. Thanks for the heart. Thanks for the love. This show is going to get probably 40, 50,000 more people. This show right here, and y'all are a part of more power than the local news media in Knoxville, Tennessee. They don't get this many views for a whole broadcast. So we're getting the message out. We're dangerous to them, and they know it. Not dangerous in a violent way. We're dangerous to them by standing on the great experiment of the Constitution that we are fighting to keep against the rogue Tennessee Judiciary. So thank you all so much, all the people in here, all the likes and shares and all the love. Thank you all so much. We're winning this battle. Y'all are helping us win. We have fought so long, for years, and just all of a sudden the spike hits, and we are booming. Our message is getting out loud and clear to coming up on 2 million people. So I thank you all so much, and may God bless you all, and may God help this movement, and may God help you all. And this fight is real. We are fighting for our very constitutional rights. And if you go to the grocery store and you look at your prices, and you go look around, and you look around at society, and you look at the closed hospitals, and you look at the environment, the people that are disheartened, and the circumstances that we have to live in this world, in the United States today, in the government, in the state of Tennessee, you look around and you see the heartache and the suffering. It is not by chance. Things are run according to people in power, in their favor, against you. It is organized and designed that way, and it violates the Constitution, and we have the power to get it back. And that is this channel. I'm speaking the truth to power. And I'm not talking about I'm speaking truth to people in government power. I'm speaking truth to you. You are the power that I'm talking to. I'm not talking to people in government power. I could care less what they think. I know what they think, and it's not right, and I'm not arguing with them. I'm not trying to convince them they should abide by the Constitution. They're not going to. They never have and never will. The only chance we have is if you will get together, the mass populace, mass citizenry in the state of Tennessee, and wherever you're at, all across the country, and vote these people out of office. It starts in 2026. Vote Mary Beth Lewis out of office, the judge that was appointed by Bill Lee. Vote her out. Send a message to the judiciary. You better start honoring the Constitution of the United States of America, or we're going to vote you out. And then let's look at this beautiful view. That's Knoxville, Tennessee. That's the dirty Judiciary building. So yeah. So like, share, comment. So send a message. And then 2030, the Tennessee Supreme Court, a lot of the Tennessee Supreme Court judiciary is up for re-election. In 2030, vote every one of the Tennessee judiciary out of office. Go to the polls and vote them out. And send them a message. Send them a message that we're not going to put up with the courts in Tennessee violating the Constitution of the United States of America. And if you do, you're not going to last long. We don't care who elected you. We don't care who promoted you. You're not going to be in the judiciary in the state of Tennessee unless you abide by the Constitution. Unless you obey our constitutional rights. One citizen has a right against the power of the almighty government. And instead of following your bosses, instead of trying to get promoted, obey the Constitution of the United States of America. Or we'll vote you out. And keep voting them out until we can get somebody in power in the governor's office that will put constitutional judges in office, people that will abide by the Constitution of the United States of America and give us our constitutional rights. One person has rights against the governor. They should have, but they don't now under this crooked, corrupt judiciary, under the corruption in the state of Tennessee government, under the dirty judiciary that literally step on the blood of soldiers that have fought for each individual's rights, that all men are created equal. In Tennessee, only the people in power have any rights. And you have none. So what we can do to correct and don't give up hope is to vote. Go vote these people out of office. Voters of truth and rage. If you're in Tennessee, voters of Tennessee and rage. So go vote, go to the polls and vote. Also, contact your friends and family in Tennessee and ask them to vote. And ask them to vote people that are in power and office out now. Now, if that's in the judiciary. Now, as far as people running for public office, there are core values. People have core values. If you're voting, remember, you don't have to like the smile or the pretty face or the money, but if you're voting and there's not a good candidate, really, a lot of times there's not good candidates to vote for. Both of them are evil. Then in order, until we can get good candidates, then vote for the lesser of the two evils. And the lesser of the two evils is people who are for your core values. Your core values. And a core value that I have, that I would encourage people to vote for. And this is why I normally vote for people that are in the Republican Party. There are some Democrats that have some of my core values. So I don't vote for a party, I vote for the person. But a core value that I have, and I'll stand for the truth whether it's popular or not, a core value that I have is that my value of human life. I value human life, and I have a position and a core value I always vote for is people that are supportive of valuing human life at both ends, at life, at conception, all the way to preserving life by opening up hospitals, and at death. So that's a core value that I have. And even if I don't like a candidate, there's not a good one, then once I have that core value, that first value that I have, protecting human life, valuing human life, even the lives of people in power. I don't want them killed. I don't want them hurt. I want them in jail where they belong. I want them to stand, I want them to be punished for their wrong. I want them to be deterred, people to be deterred from violating constitutional rights. But a core value that I have, and I'm asking people to vote for truth, a core value. And so they knocked us off here. So if you have a candidate that values human life and wants to take measures in the government that values human life, then vote for a candidate that values human life. And that's what I would do. So thank y'all for coming. We'll try to be back on here tomorrow. May God bless you all. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it. I had an overwhelming support today. I'm encouraged from the viewership today. And so thank y'all very much for your attendance. Evidently, YouTube is sharing this video today. We got almost 150 people in here after being on for 3 hours. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is Vote. Voters of Truth encouraged now. And this is the Charles Van Morgan Show. So we start broadcasting live in the morning somewhere between 5 and 6:45 until as late as we can get people on the show and interested. So we've had overwhelming support today. So thank you all. Y'all are part of a great movement that's moving all across the state of Tennessee. A movement that they want to shut down. A movement that the government has used violence against. A movement that stands on the Constitution and values your individual rights. So thank you for the hearts. A movement that is for you. A movement that is led by someone who's very self-sacrificing, Charles Van Morgan. And I'm very self-sacrificing. And I'm putting myself out front. And thank you all. I'm putting myself out front in a fight that could and has gotten me hurt, physically hurt by the government. Got me defamed, mistreated, abused. But the secret to winning a lot of fights is you don't stop. You keep punching, you keep fighting, you keep telling the truth. And the truth matters. So we'll keep doing that. And if they take me off YouTube, I'll be on Telegram or I'll be on Rumble, and we'll keep getting the message out. So like, share, comment, subscribe, join, vote. So we got over 100 people over on here. I hate to sign off with that many people, but we'll be back on here tomorrow, probably about 5:45, to bring another show. Today we talked about the dirty judiciary in the state of Tennessee. Who says that? Charles Van Morgan says that. The judiciary, the reason they're dirty is they violate your constitutional rights. They violate the Constitution. So if you're part of this movement, part of Vote, that stands up for truth, watching the Charles Van Morgan show, then let me tell you, we're getting some attention. We're losing elections and winning the war, winning the battles. So they got elections rigged, but they don't have access to public communication rigged because there's too much access to public communication. So we're getting a lot of public attention, and we're getting a lot of attention from people in government power. And we're winning this fight. We're getting the truth out. So be encouraged. We're winning the fight. We're winning the battle. We're winning the war. And we'll keep fighting and keep winning until we take power and get constitutional judges in office that will honor individual constitutional rights and not rule against people because they don't have a daddy or a brother or uncle or cousin, or because they're not in public office, or because they're not a liar, not rule against people, rule according to the Constitution. And that's not the way it is now. It's absolutely, positively not the way it is now. People in government power are dirty as hell. They'd like to hurt me. They'd like to kill me. Vote them out. So thank y'all for showing up. God bless y'all, I pray. Continue watching Vote. Share the channel. The government is afraid, and there's people in the government, I assure you, that are watching the channel, and they don't like what I'm saying because I'm speaking the truth about them, and they'll try to shut me up, try to shut me down. So we're making a huge difference. Huge difference. And we'll keep on making a huge difference. So we'll be back on here tomorrow to talk more about corruption and government power and what we can do about it. So thank y'all so very much for joining. We will sign off. I bet this show's probably got close to 50,000 people. This might be the record breaker today. The record-breaking show. The average news channel in Knoxville gets about 50,000 viewers in a broadcast. And they may have a little more retention time, but our highest view has got 57,000 people that have listened to a Charles Van Morgan show. So we're getting more outreach than rogue news channels in the state of Tennessee that back up the judiciary and back up the power. And if you want a channel where we're going to brag on people in government power, you're on the wrong channel. Or actually listen, and you, by the time I get done with it, you won't be. So thank y'all very much. I hate to get off here with any more people on here, with all these 100 people on here. But if you're watching the show, tune in tomorrow. We'll be back on here. We'll put out the truth and tell people the way things really are from a unique, truthful perspective. You won't hear anywhere else. You won't hear deception. You'll hear the pure, unadulterated, undoctored truth that ain't pretty, but it's right, and it can make it pretty. So God loves you, and I do too. Till tomorrow.